George O'Brien, people still coming into the room. Mario, Matt, Franz, good to see you. Fran wants us to turn it up. Jimmy will be showing up shortly. Sue Bell is, of course, here cracking the whips. She's been cracking whips all day. It's been an amazing day, like mind-blowing. Good to see you, Heidi, David. Everybody's coming in. Great. Good to see. It's amazing how many people show up. Got to tell you, you guys are really on the ball. Give me a 1 if you can hear everything that I'm saying. And if you heard Sue in the background there for a second.
Hello, everybody.
I'll turn down the Guns N' Roses.
No, 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 don't.
It's gotten a little out of hand over here in my office.
What?
All right, good. So we have audio. So we're going to be going through the questions that we've got. New questions that come in since last week, Sue?
Yes, we do. Indeed,
Fantastic.
we do. They're not cooperating in coming
Not
over
quite.
into
That's
my
all right. We're still going.
spreadsheet.
We've gone through a few of them. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I would like everybody to type in what kind of a profitable week they had using a lot of the tools and technologies. Give us a 1 through 10. 10 being the best, 1 being nothing. You've applied nothing that we've taught whatsoever. That's okay. You can be honest. Boot. Just kidding. Wow, that's pretty good so far. Come on, be honest. That's okay. Excellent. Wow, so many 10s. We got 7, 7, 7, 7, 5, 5, 5, 7. There's a couple of 1s. People haven't had the opportunity to apply it yet, but it's a minority, which I'm glad to see. Hi, Cecile. I don't know if I like that word newbie, Cecile. She called herself, I don't know. It means you're just starting out.
It means she's new to the class.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that she's
a newbie.
Inexperienced.
Studying the material like crazy. Glad to hear that, Paul. Yeah, Mike's correct. I knew Mike would question my question. What do I mean profitability? What I should have said is, have you applied these methods yet and seen results? Because profitability is a variable. 10 for Mike. So that what Mike means is that he's actually applying and getting results for what ranking, Mike? What's your favorite method that you're applying in Director's Cut that the Network Empire team and everyone has shown you? John is asking what is the best way to submit questions in advance?
Oh, we have this handy dandy little
we have a questionnaire. John, we're going to drop it in the, I will try to answer your questions as they go by. And we're going to try to take the ones that we've already got in advance first. So.
Yeah. There it is.
Fran is saying that, it's good to clarify that question. Fran is saying, yes, I've applied and seen results, but she hasn't directly profited from those results yet. Okay, that's good.
Right.
I mean, not good that you haven't profited, but I understand what you're saying now. So now it's about your business model and conversion, right? That's good. Okay. Lorraine, I want to make sure, can you Skype me one of those words just so we can double check? We just updated Painfinder, the Painfinder software. I want to double check, make absolute sure on that. Okay, we have a question. Mario said you opened a ticket recently asking how we can use vSilo and TKT synergistically to find the ideal keywords to build silos. Okay. I'm not sure if I got that ticket, Mario, but we have a specific tutorial on that as well in our help files and on our wiki, where Sue goes exactly through how to do keyword research and import it. So I want to make sure that you get that, okay? Of course, Fran, I meant, sorry about that. Okay, thanks, Lorraine. Here's an interesting question as Sue gets ready. Matt is saying, Matt, I want to go over, I'm not going to pronounce your last name until I'm sure how to pronounce it. You've been blogging steadily for some time now, syndicating far and wide, but your Twitter is the only one that, okay. That depends on too many variables for me to answer it in one sentence paragraph. I can't really answer what your domain authority your page authority stuckness is. So I would need to have more information on that. Why don't you, what's the best process for that? Why don't you submit a question through the link that we're about to submit, getting very, very specific about what you mean. I don't know how big your network is. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what your model is, so we need to know more. Here's another question. I need some clarification on the answers you gave me previously. I have got a couple of my Google Plus business attached to a Gmail account. Okay. I have got a couple. I'm not quite sure I understand the sentence. Google My Business attached to my Gmail account. I would like to remove this from my Gmail account, and if I understand correctly, I can do this by making someone a manager, then removing. That is, before I can say that you can do that, Lorraine, I believe you can do it, but that is not something, I would have to verify that. So there's a couple of ways to verify. There are some things, guys, that I would like to point out that are things that if I don't specifically know or have done them, because I set things up the way that I want them most of the time in the beginning, and there was a couple of changes on that policy, and I haven't updated. I wouldn't want to tell you anything, Lorraine, that I wasn't sure of. Interestingly enough, Google has fairly prolific help files. Now, they're a little bit obfuscated. So what I'd like to do is see if I can find that for you. Also, Lorraine, you can look it up. What happens when you want to change the Google Plus? You know, there's this thing called Hummingbird. We can actually type in huge long sentences and a lot of the time get results back. And they also have it on the search. You can find it in the Google function. I had to do this with another student that was trying to get their YouTube channel changed around and tied to another Google page. I know it sounds easy, and there's, you know, like theoretically they show you how to do it, but it was actually quite a bit more difficult than their instructions laid out. So it's definitely something you want to just look up. And why don't you hit me on Skype later? We can see if we can find the instructions, because that's actually something that would be useful for the entire community. And I don't want to say that unless I've tested it, because then you would orphan your account. I'm quite sure you can transfer admin. I'm 99.9% sure. Matt, Matt, is your last name Sargason? Am I saying that right as Sargason? Yeah, okay. So Matt's been doing a lot of domain authority stacking and iframe punching. Is Sarge, okay. Okay, I was close, Sargason. How are you doing on your domain authority stacking? You get some movement on the rankings, Matt? Okay, excellent. Obfuscate me, oh, Paul. Paul likes to, when I use big words, Paul asks what they mean. I don't even know what obfuscate means. I just say it because it sounds cool. Where do I find, okay, the deep silo plugin, there's a request for that. We had a slight, I'm sheepishly saying, we had a slight delay on the deep silo plugin because we found something, and almost done. Yes, Tom, obfuscation has a hidden meaning. Tom James is making sure that everybody knows the actual definition. Thank you, Tom. Tom, from now on, IW definer of terms.
No, I think he was saying that obfuscation has a hidden meaning.
Oh, I got it.
That's what the meaning is.
Oh my God, it was a pun and I missed it.
Yes.
Okay, I should not have hit the beer just yet. Okay, got it. All right, thank you. That was actually brilliant, Tom. Good one. I know I can't keep up with you guys. Aside from the fact that Sue's been cracking the whip since like early this morning.
I have not been gentle to him. You
oh
guys
my! Yeah, let's build 5 more softwares.
Oh, by next week. Come on.
It's not enough to surround the camp. Let's surround the camp and pummel it, and then build a Death Star around it, and then absorb the planet. It's a planet killer. Hey, Jazz. Good to see you.
Where can they get the original Silo plugin? Because that would be the equivalent of the deep Silo plugin.
Oh, the old Silo
version. Yeah.
Maybe I should just drop it here.
Yeah.
I wonder if I can do that.
Oh, it's a zip file. No, you can drop
but I
the
can
link.
Get a link. Yeah, link.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Do you want me to do Heidi's question while you're doing that?
Yeah, I'll figure. Well, I don't know if I can do that. Let me just.
I'll do Heidi's question. You figure out where the link is. It's okay. Take your time. Breathe. It'll all be okay. See, I got coffee, guys. I'm sorry.
No, I'm making coffee. It's brewing on the other side of the room.
All right. So Heidi asks. She says her question is about new clients who have Wix accounts and they're not ranking. Some of their niches are small. I would expect them to show up somewhere, but they have not. So my question is Wix a good Web 2.0 platform to build off of, or is there something behind the scenes that search engines don't like about Wix websites? I don't honestly know. We'll wait for Mr. Kelly. He'll be here in about 10 minutes. See if he has any insight to that. Next question is also for Jimmy. If I reblog my Tumblr, won't Google penalize my original Tumblr? No, that's sites like that, they don't have that problem. But it's the same thing on Scoop It. You can re-scoop somebody else's Scoop It article, and they don't seem to really care about the dupe content thing. I think it has to do with my guess is it has to do with the authority of the site, right? So if you're past a particular authority, then and you've got enough traffic, then Google kind of turns a blind eye to some of those things. That I do know for certain, because I've had sites where I've gotten lots of traffic and penalties just miraculously lift. I don't do anything to fix them. They just go away. So, all right. So
you know you're annoying. You know you're annoying when your own voice annoys you on the sales page that you created. Okay, you guys, I'm going to give you guys a link to the free
Silo plugin.
Yeah, go ahead, Sue.
Excellent.
I'm going to put it in here.
What service do you use for indexing? These are all Jimmy questions. All right, wait, let me just put here. Jimmy. When using One-Feed Supercharger with Tumblr viral images, how many RSS URLs from Tumblr reblogs should we use? Oh, that's a good question. I'm building a new site. That's actually a really good question, because I've been wondering a little bit about that. I've seen some of the feeds come through. I'm building a new site. I'm going to use vSilo for proper structure, which is so great, time saver, install Social Explosion, One-Feed Supercharger. Forgive me, but I'm just learning everything. Is there anything else? Sorry.
Oh, no.
What?
Oh, no, I was just commenting on your wicked laugh.
Well, you know, is there anything? So we try to give people baby steps. And you can baby step yourself all the way up into what we call certification. So yes, there's almost always more. In this course, Social Explosion, One-Feed Supercharger, vSilo, we talk about DAS and the 5 iframe punch. So yes, there are a couple of other things in the videos that you don't. If you're just talking about software, that's pretty much what we talked about inside the videos. But we do have more software, and we will be showing off some more things, probably even today if we get through the questions. And as far as techniques, yes, there's heaps more. Does Social Explosion and beyond this course, does Social Explosion and One-Feed Supercharger work together with no problems? So I haven't seen any problems yet. One-Feed Supercharger is really pretty new. It's only been out, like we only released it a couple of weeks ago. So if you come across any problems, please, or anything that you think might be problematic, please let us know at the help desk. I know there was somebody this last week who had a problem with a feed that they created not through OneFeed Supercharger, but they tried to put the feed into OneFeed Supercharger. Dang, how did that go? Too many feed questions in the last week. Anyway, I know that they were having a problem. They put a feed into OneFeed Supercharger, and then they put it into Social Explosion, and it didn't work. And
well, if Facebook is not validating properly, it's not validating properly anywhere, though. So
right, that's just a Facebook issue. Yeah. But if you have a problem with another feed trying to go into OneFeed Supercharger, we had at least one person who ran it through FeedBurner, and that helped sort that issue out. So not all feeds are created equal. There are standard parameters that are supposed to be in feeds, and so FeedBurner can correct a few of those things. But aside from that, I don't think we've had any other problems. It's been mostly the Facebook thing. What's the difference between Panda and Penguin? Oh, that's a Jimmy question. I mean, I could take a stab at it, but we'll just let him answer it. Question for... Oh.
I'm here too, Sue, by the way.
Are you? All right.
I'll just let you pile up the question.
Thanks. Can you make it possible to bulk add RSS feeds to the OneFeed Supercharger? Yeah, I can tell that that's coming. Because when I add 100 plus Tumblr feeds. So there was, I know in a couple of the Facebook threads, I threw out an option for quickly creating a feed out of a bunch of feeds. Is there anybody here who tried that, and can you tell me whether or not it worked? And don't ask me what it was now because I don't have it up at the moment, but I'm sure I could find it. Nobody's coming back and saying anything. All right.
You're not, are you?
Pardon me? I'm not talking to you, no.
Are you going to do a batch?
A what?
First, are you going to do a batch upload feature for the OneFeed?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yes, as soon as the programming staff moves off of everything that you put them onto today.
Yes, 100% Jimmy's fault.
100%, 1,000%. I have a link juice question. Oh, geez, that's another Jimmy question. All right, so let me just stop here. We'll go to the top, and you can answer a few things so that it doesn't seem horrible. Fine. All right, Mr. Kelly. Heidi asks about Wix accounts. She's got a new client, and they have Wix accounts, and they're not ranking. So, have you heard of Wix? Do you know what that is?
Yes, I do. It's a site I've been using it. It's very similar to Weebly.
2.0 platform, but she wants to know why it's not, her client's not ranking, and so wanted to know if there was something up with that. So I thought it was Jimmy's question.
Well, yeah, it is. That's like there could be any number of reasons.
Well, I guess my question would be, is Wix, the bottom line in her question is Wix a good Web 2.0 platform to build off of, or is there something behind the scenes that search engines don't like about Wix websites?
No, that's a good question.
You've muted yourself, Jimmy, so if you're trying to talk, we can't hear you.
Kind of busted my mouse tool.
Yeah, I'm just trying to look real quick, see if we can find something here.
Okay.
I've never used Wix for ranking.
I see like a ton of spam type stuff when I do a site Wix type. This one looks okay. Just give me a minute here. You can go on to another question while I'm looking.
They're all your questions. I read them all
It looks
already.
like we do have a couple folks in the audience who've been ranking with Wix.
Oh, good. All right. Well, then that answers that.
We'll crowdsource for a second.
Yeah, exactly.
If you've ranked a Wix page or ranked with a Wix page, give us a 1. Anybody besides David Newberry? Hi, Andy. I think you were the one having the issue with the Facebook page, weren't you? I mean, the Facebook RSS feed. Can you try, I was still trying to deal with it myself. Can you try running it through FeedBurner and then trying the FeedBurner feed? That seems to be one solution that might work. I'm still actually looking at your case because the document you sent me still sitting on my desktop here. That Facebook feed is, I was wondering if there might be a setting, a privacy setting for it inside of your Facebook account. I kind of has that look, but I haven't gone far enough into the code to look and see what it's doing.
Yeah, I mean, everything looks okay on it to me. Let's see if you have the word name on this. That seems bad. Right.
The upgraded feature in Wix, Jimmy, actually has your own URL, so it's really almost like a pseudo virtual hosting company. It's quite a bit different than Weebly in that sense, but there's some similar features. But you can also get your own URL. So
you could do that on Weebly, and I think you can do that on WordPress.
Right.
Some of them
Yeah.
do.
Pretty much the same thing then.
Yeah. So are we on to question 3?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, so for Heidi, I would just say
Looks okay.
it's fine. I would just make sure if it's not ranking or popping up in the search engines, make sure that it's turned on to index and there's enough good content on there to get it indexed. So, hi Jimmy, if people reblog my Tumblr, won't Google Panda penalize my original Tumblr? Well, we don't. Well, so for the Tumblr method, I don't care if Google penalizes my Tumblr, my original Tumblr, because I'm using it to rank the Muddy site. I don't care if it hits that one Tumblr page. And in a similar situation, it's kind of like tweets and retweets. It'll be interesting to see when Google starts indexing that stuff again, like how they're going to treat that kind of thing. But I think Google just gives a pass sometimes when there's like a social type aspect to some of these platforms. You know, kind of like how curation and stuff works too. What service do you use for indexing links? Usually indexification. Why shouldn't we avoid nofollow? Is it trust the APA? Well, trust can still pass through a nofollow link. So your PA and DA, well, and I've even seen PA trust or pass on a nofollow link as well from time to time. So I've just seen where you can actually rank sites with nofollow links. So that's why I don't bother avoiding them. I think it's good to always have a nice mix of both follow and nofollow links, and as long as you're building those up, you should get some benefit either from the trust or PA side of things. Let's see, question 5. When using one-feed supercharger with the Tumblr viral image DAS, how many RSS URLs from Tumblr reblog should we use? It really depends on how strong the reblogs are that you get. So if say you have an aged account and they do a reblog on it, it might have, you know, a pretty high DA and PA already associated with it. So in that case, you might be fine with just doing like, 20 to 50. If they're all brand new accounts and there's not any power going to any of those, then you probably want to be more up in the 100 range. So it just kind of depends on the strength of whatever pages those are that reblog your original blog. What's the difference between Panda and Penguin? So in a nutshell, Panda deals with a whole bunch of different stuff in the algorithm. So Panda handles like your page layout algorithm, it handles dupe content, it handles links as far as, it does handle links in regards to relevance, but it also handles links in regards to, for every one link inbound to the site should match up with one piece of content that's indexed. And so Panda handles all that. Penguin is mostly like, I just think of Penguin as like more over-optimization and neighborhood type stuff for Penguin. So that's kind of how I distinguish the two. Panda is really quite a beast as far as it handles a lot of the updates that they've already done. And my hunch is I think some of Penguin is actually integrated into Panda myself currently, but that's how I would kind of distinguish between the two. The most accurate tool to measure trust flow, Ahref. Majestic is the closest thing you're going to use to measuring trust flow, but they're only accurate as far as like your tier 1 goes. If you go and you look back at the metrics for your tier 2 and how they're calculating that going to your tier 1 for like your topical trust flow and things like that, it's complete garbage. But as far as your tier 1, like that's the best you're going to get for measuring trust flow. So, yeah, I think that answers that one. Number 13, I have a link juice question. Does it pass more juice when a PBN points to multiple tier 1 web 2.0 properties? Like this. You want to give me those links, Sue?
No, why would I do that?
Oh, I guess you could just throw it in. Okay. What's the other image look like? I'm pointing directly to the PBN to the main site. So I wouldn't do that diagram. So the first diagram, I wouldn't do that specifically because you're creating a footprint, basically. Google can track down on your tier 2 exactly same linking patterns are going to tier 1, and they can just gut that power out right off the bat if they don't take more action to penalize you, depending on how big your footprint is. So it's kind of about link diversity, but if you were going to a PBN to a tier 1 to the money site, then that's fine. But I wouldn't create footprints like that like you have on your first diagram. But I would say you're going to have more through your tier 1. I think that's what the question was. Go back to the questions real quick. More juice. So more juice, yes. More trust, no. If that makes sense. The fewer links that you build to a site, the more trust it will inherit from the links passing. The more links that you build, so it's kind of like, if you guys could think back to the PageRank days, like you get a link from a PageRank site, and the more outbound links coming from that PR site, the less PR juice you're going to get. So the same thing is if you think of it from the reverse standpoint, if a link is pointing to your site, the more links you have pointing at it, the lower trust is going to come into it. So you really want to try to rank with as few links as possible, basically, from high trusted sites. So I think that answers that. Do we have any questions rolling in for any of this stuff? Or are we just going through the checklist tonight?
I'm looking.
Well, we're doing both. Are we out of the written questions?
No. He's just wondering if everybody understood what he just did.
Did everybody follow that? Just give me 1 if you followed it, 2 if you sort of followed it, and 3 if it might as well have been Greek. Wow, okay. Almost everybody understands it or marginally understands it. That's good. General language. Fantastic. And for those of you who are still being exposed to this language, just keep on paying attention, continue to ask questions, and you are starting to rub off on you.
Pip's got a question. Can you see the questions, Jimmy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Got me in. Oops.
I think we can come back to those in a second.
Okay.
So Greg's got a DAS question.
I have a DAS citation question. If I put the address of my websites on the Weebly WordPress Tumblr pages, does that help to rank for local listing? Yes, it does. It's considered part of, so you guys have probably seen it where it's counting as a citation. So like if you just put like a blank URL into a web page without anything attached to it, so it's not actually a link, but just a, just your URL typed down, that counts as citation. They also can identify you through unique numbers, unique addresses, and as long as you have that stuff registered in Google, they can track that back to where it needs to go. So they do count them as citations. If I send links to Weebly, WordPress, Tumblr, does that also increase the ranking of local listing? Yes. So you can look at, Greg, if you want to look at you can do a search for like local ranking factors, and I think Moz has a thing on it for like the ranking factors for your local search, and most of it is all down to your domain authority. So the domain authority of your site, the domain authority of the links coming in, and then right under that, like number 5 or 6, it tells you basically what the power of those links is. So you're looking at PA at that point. So if you're building like DA links, and that's going to help build the DA of your site, then as soon as you go and you power it up, it's going to help you rank for those in the maps listings as well. And that's why, if you're just going after maps, really just going and getting some citations and just hitting those with some social links or whatever, it really will handle like most local city keyword you want to do. So.
So Pip asked for the DAS and Tumblr method. Is there a benefit to getting expired Tumblr accounts with PageRank?
Absolutely. I have my own network of them. I will say yes.
The
Now
best
you're thinking, Pip.
RSS directories.
Pip's a naughty, naughty boy.
Do we have a list of the best RSS directories, Russ?
I think we.
Yes, go by rsssubmit.com, and boom, you have a list.
Did we do a list the other day? I thought we went
I thought we did
already,
one the other day.
we've got this already. Let me drop the actually, I don't mind doing it again. It's not the directories that I have a list of. It's the I actually don't have an independent list of the directories, but where we came to was that the RSS submit software contains them all, and what I can do is I can navigate over to the RSS directory, RSS submit software, which is still probably the better ones in the market. There's a couple others, but they're a little less. And they should have a list of the RSS directories. So you guys keep going. I'll see if I can dig that up.
Excellent. So question potentially for Jimmy. Wondering if it's okay to send spam, for example, 5,000 links, to a property that's on a Tier 1, as long as the property has a no-follow link pointing to the money site. Oh, lordy mama.
That is correct. You would be safe if that is a no-follow link, then you are safe for blasting those, at least currently. Now, doing that to a do-follow link, and you can watch your money site go the opposite direction in the service that you want it to go, more than likely. Depends on the list.
All right, in the Tumblr method, can you use the same Tumblr account for multiple money sites?
Oh, he also asked, should spam be kept on tier 3 and 4 no matter what? Yes. Especially if you're beginning. Like, that includes
That includes what?
That includes redirects. Like,
okay.
If you...
yeah.
If you're unsure and you haven't tested it, like, by all means, go ahead and test it. Like, go do it on a site that you don't care about first. But if you're just beginning, you know, keep that stuff out to, you know, tier 3 at minimum. Typically, you can find my GSA sitting on tier 4.
In the Tumblr method, can you use the same Tumblr account for multiple money sites?
Yes. So you just put up a post and you just kind of theme that post for whatever you want it to be. It doesn't, like, the whole Tumblr doesn't have to be themed for your whatever it is necessarily. So, you know, I could throw SEO and I could put up like a roofing page and I could do a cake page. As long as the whole page, the content you put on there is associated with what you're trying to push, then it should be good.
Well, that's an interesting idea. So we said that they should include a list of socials in their add insight paragraph and scoop it. And Joe wants to know if he can include that same list of socials in every other item they scoop for more power, or do you just include it in the list of socials once?
That depends.
Okay.
Depends on the destinations of those social links, basically. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. In the 5 iframe punch, what happens if you don't have a video on the blog? Do you use just any video, or do you just use the post without the video? Well, the 5 iframe punch loses a lot of its punch if you don't have a video.
It's more like a slap at that.
Exactly. I wouldn't. So when you say just any video, I'm assuming that you mean like somebody else's video, and you're not going to get the same effect if it's not your video, because the idea of using your video is you've got the link back to your site, and so when you embed the video in other social media platforms, you're actually increasing the page authority where the video sits on YouTube, so it increases the oomph that it's, or the punch that it's sending back to your site with a with that link in the description. So it's not as effective without the video. You can still do it. You can still scoop it and storify it, and then scoop your storify story and do that kind of thing, and it will still have an impact. But I've just seen so much impact off of YouTube. Like, it's a little bit crazy. And, you know, okay, so if you don't have enough videos, can you use one video multiple times? Yeah, you can. You can put the link to, you can put multiple links in the description. I would make sure that it's themed appropriately. So, like, don't use a dog food video about chocolate, right? But the other thing is there are lots of ways to make videos that, you know, you can be creative about it. It doesn't have to be. This was one of the hardest things I had with one of my local clients. I eventually fired him because they just couldn't quite get what it was I was trying to get them to do. But it's like, they were a yoga studio, and I'm like, a yoga studio is just such a social thing, right? Like, there's so much stuff going on. You can just pull out your iPhone and snap videos about pretty much anything, right? So he did a couple of really great videos, and then just kind of like, I don't know, got distracted or something. And so, like, be creative and don't feel like it has to be a production. There are all kinds of ways that you can outsource videos, but I don't like those nearly so well. I don't think that they've got the appeal. Like, people don't actually sit and watch most of those outsourced videos unless you've got some really good content in them. But it's not hard to just, like, depending on what it is you're doing, to just think outside that box a little bit and be ready with your phone. Can one use one Hootsuite account to promote different WordPress blog feeds, each with its own set of social accounts? I think you have to have, Russ, you'd have to answer that, but don't you have to have one Hootsuite account? Or is that just the way that we do it, where we've got a different Hootsuite account for each market that we dominate?
No, you have 3 free social accounts of your choosing on the free version of Hootsuite. So you could have, and I think you have 2 or 3 total RSS feeds that you could submit to one or more of those 3 free social services that you've connected. And then they upsell you to the 100 account. That means that the way to think about Hootsuite is when it comes to Twitter, when it comes to LinkedIn, Facebook, and Google+, they offer a few other ones that they would be good for, they'd be good for authority juice, but not really good for social. They're like, one of them's like I think it's a Japanese social media network or something. But those 4, when you get the upgraded account, you get 100 social. So if you wanted to, you could have, for instance, not that you should ever do this, not that I'm suggesting that you do it, you could have like 100 Twitter accounts managed in that one account. And if you wanted to, you could, for instance, run one blog through all 100 of those Twitter accounts every time you posted. Does that make sense? You could also mix that up. It could be 25 Facebook account pages, 25 Twitter accounts, 25 LinkedIn accounts, and 25 Google Plus biz pages. And each time you published, you could have one RSS feed to rule them all. In other words, a single RSS feed, whatever of your choice, could then be threaded through all 100 of those accounts. Does that make sense? If you want to move more than 100 accounts, then you've got to get another account. Give me a 1 if that makes sense. So I just know that I answered your question. Okay. Okay.
Cool. Can you give us some more examples of sites like Quora, which can be included in the 5 iframe punch? You know, you can use any third-party platform in the 5 iframe punch, so long as it doesn't have a horrible domain authority. What would you say? What would you use for minimum domain authority for a 5 iframe punch, Jimmy? Something in the 30s, 40s?
I probably wouldn't use anything under like a 36.
Okay. So if they've got a domain authority for over 35, you're good to go. So, you know, look around, use your favorite sites. There's all kinds of lists from all kinds of places, and the problem with giving you a list is a lot of third-party platforms go up and down a lot. So I tend to try, me personally, I stick to the ones that have been around for a while because I don't want to go to a lot of hard work and then have the platform drop tomorrow. So
yeah, it's kind of funny because Zenith was asking for a list of all the RSS directories.
Mm-hmm.
I went back to Robin Good, you know, our old buddy Robin Good, from that original list that we were looking at, and it's on the search engines. You can all find it. I could drop it here, but it's kind of embarrassing for him, or at least for the directories. There's something like a 60% fallout rate of RSS directories. Now there's new ones that have cropped up, and it's not a comprehensive list, but it just shows you that there's not. You got to think about it from business perspective, you guys, right? How does a RSS directory stay profitable if that's the only thing that they do? Right? How do they make money? So a lot of these go out of business really fast. We're looking at a huge fail rate, or at least a rate where they just go into attrition and then new RSS directories pop up. That's kind of an example of that.
Yeah, George makes a great suggestion. You can check if this, then that for what platforms are available there, and that is really good. And
a lot of people are doing that.
Yeah, the other thing is we're going to be adding that functionality to OneFeed Supercharger. It's not going to be like in the next 30 days. It's probably 2 or 3 months away. But the
And
thing
yeah,
that we want to do is, so long as you're subscribed, like, because that's going to enter into part of the subscription-based aspect of OneFeed Supercharger. And so long as you're subscribed, you'll get your feeds will get entered into whatever is current, because they do go up and down a lot.
yeah. I mean, George, that's one of the things that we do is go into those services like if this and that, see what the domain page authority is, and then determine whether or not they're useful. I would say that on a functional level, keep in mind that if you're using if this then that, I would only use it on your first web ring layer. Oh crap, I'm in the wrong meeting. So I guess okay, let me just back up. Sorry, I forgot what GoTo I was in. I mean, what webinar. Let me just start back way up. I didn't say that. Cancel play. All right, so here's my problem with if this then that for any. If you're going to use it, make sure that you send all the signals to an email that you check regularly, because a lot of those services that George was saying, hey, look and check it out. If this then that requires regular check-in, and you have to reactivate the accounts, make sure that you meet all these standards. One of the things that social platforms are doing with all these automated services, either API-based or otherwise, is sending signals to make sure that the person is real and that it's not, like there's not a human being behind it, and they'll turn it off occasionally just to see that you're alive and that it's not like truly 100% automated. What that means is if you're not checking your email account, you're not sending signals to that anymore. Now when you have 400 or 500 sites or more like we do, that's a real pain in the ass. You don't want stuff turned off unless you want to. I want it to run for 5 years. Again, another reason I like Hootsuite is on average it's anywhere between 12 and 24 months. I had one Google Plus page running for 13 months straight before I finally needed to go in. And so that's, again, that's one of the things you get from free services versus paid. Hootsuite costs a little bit, like $6 or $9 or something, if this and that's free. But you kind of get what you pay for, and these are one of the many things that you have to watch when you're using free services. But that notwithstanding, George is right. You can definitely come up with new ideas and find out new locations, as Jimmy would say, new locations to exploit for paid drink and stuff. And it doesn't mean those platforms will be around forever, but you can use them while they're there, and then just make sure that they don't turn off every 20 minutes. I hate that.
Exactly. All right, video silo plugin. Let's say you want to create a silo of a product and its review. So you've got productowner.com/product/product review. Joe had tried productowner.com/product/review to avoid over-optimizing the URL with the product, but the vSilo plugin pulled in an irrelevant video. Oh, yeah, it would. So what's the best way to structure this kind of silo without running into over-optimization issues? Oh, that's a great question. You know what I would probably do is instead of making this the actual product, so like we've got this is the URL right here that we're looking at, right? So let me just come down here. Let me make a new notepad. Where did it go? No. Here we go. So can you do like product, instead of just putting in product, can you make this a variation of the product, or can you make this a product category? Change this up somehow, right, is what I'm thinking, because so like you could make this like speakers, and then you could make this Bose speakers. Right? Something along those lines. Then you've got, or even better, if you can make one plural and one singular, or help if I could type, huh? Something along those lines. Okay, so Greg's saying my competitor's got some interesting backlinks, and other than that, his site is equal to mine. He's ranking #1 for Memphis Roofer. How many quality backlinks do I need to knock him out? And okay, so if your competitor's got bad backlinks and he's outranking you, chances are high you got something else going on with your site. So guys, give me a 1 if you would like for us to do some product or some site review webinars, because the questions are starting to slow down a little bit, and I think we could.
Yeah, like, got a question from Brad about.
I'll pull it up right now.
Yeah, I got a question. Now, not everybody's going to want to expose their sites. I got a question from Brad, which is kind of slightly off topic. Brad asks, about a thin content warning he got on his PinVid site. I don't really recognize you, Brad, as a formal student of mine. Maybe you are, and if you are, I'm very, very sorry. Why don't you if you are, then you need to contact me personally. Some people are taking the PinVid model that we teach outside of the official training that we have, and that's okay. You do the best that you can with it. But a lot of you are purchasing pre-existing domains. Jimmy's done some checking on that. Usually the thin content warning comes up when you're not following all of the steps that we teach, and more importantly, it comes up on domains that you maybe have bought at auction. That's one of the reasons it can come up. I'm going to let Jimmy, of course, speak to this. He's the maestro on this. But Brad, if you want to ping me on Skype and let me have a look at it, it's usually that manual. It's discussed as a manual penalty, but there's a lot of indicators that pop up, and consistently Jimmy and Sue have looked at those, and they're almost always with a domain that's been purchased at auction. It's got some links, and if Jimmy, you want to talk about that more, it does consistently come up with people who haven't bought the domain from scratch.
More times than not, that's typically like where they originate from. I mean, the other thing is you can also have a competitor that can go in there. That's why we don't recommend putting those on a money site, particularly, because you don't want to put, if by chance you happen to get a manual reviewer come along and it's attached to your to your money site, I mean, that's not good. Like, typically where we use that would be more in like a PBN type situation, I would say, for this group, right?
Yeah. So, and people keep. I mean, we're a close group here, so I can just say everybody's copying Cotton's, like, we got questions. Here they are. Come with questions. Can I do it on a subdomain? Yeah, but it's up to you. You know what I mean? It's like,
you have to realize that you could have a competitor that doesn't care. They can do a spam report. I mean, you literally could go do a spam report right now on some of those people that have on their subdomains, and that would they would just do a manual penalty across the board. So manual penalties are the one thing where, you can fake the algorithm or whatever as long as it's not getting put under a set of eyes. But as soon as it's under a set of eyes, you're at the mercy of that reviewer. So
yeah,
and we try never to put that actually onto a money site.
Right.
I would say also that,
and you can fix it.
The time and energy that you put into the PinVid site is going to directly affect what the reviewer sees, because I have had my PinVid sites manually reviewed, and they've passed with flying colors. So it all depends on what you got going on. But then my PinVid sites also have got social signals and traffic. I don't put up a PinVid site without that. So, and
look and feel, and guys, just so
big time look and feel.
There's over 60 steps to properly make a human passable manual review, where a low-paid Google staff member who provides the penalty would just go, oh, cool site, and get caught in day job killer videos.
Get sucked into it, yeah. So
it's totally, if you're doing it right and you're following our advanced method, which we strongly recommend, do not put it on your money site if you have not. Again, I'm going to say this: never put it on your subdomain, and especially don't put it on your subdomain unless you've taken advanced training.
Yeah. All right, so Greg, if you want to give us that site, I think we've got time to review it here in a minute. Solani asks, is SendWire the same as Hootsuite? And I'm assuming you mean, does it have the same functionality as Hootsuite? I'm not that familiar with SendWire. I would imagine that it's probably pretty close if you can feed your feed through it.
SendWire is pretty new. We keep getting a lot of people talking about SendWire, and we haven't formally reviewed it. It sounds too much like Send.
Send goes live in 168 days. Is this the right site, guys?
Yeah, and it's not the same as the Send that you helped create the blueprint and development processes for.
So,
just so everybody knows, Sue will never admit it, but she was one of the major consultants.
No.
Sorry, no. She told him not to do it. No, SendWire is...
yeah, go ahead.
SendWire is brand new. Is anybody using SendWire as a beta tester? Give me a 1. Lonnie, you are? Okay.
Oh, we've got a few people.
We don't know anything about it. If you guys want to get a screen capture or whatever, I can't. Oh, it's on your PinVid site. Well, Brad, that could be your problem. Just kidding. Brad's laughing at least. Brad, actually, I'm quite serious about that. Can you let me know what the SendWire promotional methodology is? That could be serious if it's not meeting Jimmy or Sue's standard. Because I didn't teach to put SendWire. Again, I'm not even being biased towards our backlinking process. I'm literally saying I don't know what kind of recipe you've added. You know, it's kind of like adding a really weird herb from India when you're trying to make Italian sauce. You know, it might not taste the same. So let me have a look at it. Brad, I'll take a look at your site and maybe kick it over to Jimmy and see if you can, you know, just look at it. Oh, it's similar to OnlyWire. Richard, that was a excellent description. Thank you for the, yeah. Let's take a look at OnlyWire. That we can speak to. So just to quickly, Sue, can I just give an injection here about these types of products? Keep in mind the way that we think about these. What is OnlyWire good for? There's two layers of the transparency. There's actually more, but there's traffic, and then there's the machine world. There's the back, you know, most of what we're talking about here today is obviously domain authority, getting link flow, getting backlinks, these types of things. OnlyWire has up to, I think it's 52 now, different social platforms that you can automate. One of the things I must say I do like about OnlyWire is the fact that they do allow RSS feeds in. And Matt Sargason is saying that, Sargason is that it's similar. That's just a cheaper version of OnlyWire. The question that you got to ask yourself is, do they allow RSS feeds in? And if they do allow RSS feeds in, then I raise an eyebrow at it because I'm lazy. So if they do allow RSS feeds in, then it's a question of the quality of the places they're going to be syndicated to. Is it providing traffic for you? Do they have domain authority? These things and such. So just keep clear in your mind whether it's for, you know, backlinking, whether it's for social accounts or both, and then you'll have a pretty good idea. Test it out. Are you seeing results? And if you're not seeing results, then what is the reason for that? Great. So I don't know anything about SendWire, where they're syndicating to or what's it about, so we really can't speak to that product. But again, keep in mind, you guys, that once you understand how all of this stuff works, it's just a matter of finding the best quality of the highest automation to create the same processes. So we don't necessarily have anything negative to say about any of their products, even if we're in a competitive space.
I have about 300. So I mean, I guess they've been exposed to like the Tumblr method and, you know, some of the other stuff we put in the DAS, but like I have like 300 diagrams that have been, you know, proven to work, and they're all different, you know. So as soon as you understand, you know, how the link juice and everything's flowing and what you're trying to manipulate, I mean, you can create all kinds of stuff.
It is true. You know, one of the things that we're really hoping to make sure, and I've learned a ton of this from Jimmy, and actually for over 10 years with Sue, because, you know, obviously you guys know that my core competency was not and probably is not, although thanks to Sue I'm probably drifting hopelessly into the development area of software. Yeah, I didn't start out with caring why things do the things they do or being able to listen to programmers, but when you begin to think things like that infrastructurally, I would say for everyone here, have a little bit, if not a whole lot, of understanding why the claims can be made on things. If somebody comes to you, after hanging out with Jimmy for a long time, I could and Sue, I could come to a meeting of really, really high-level SEOs that were at a technical level that was beyond me, and know that they were bullshitting. You know what I mean? Give me a 1 if you understand, because I understood the principles of what they were saying. So like, yeah, if you do this, 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 and this, you rank. There's no magic there. You just do the math. Right, Jimmy? It's like you just do the numbers, you know, and you see what they're trying to do to juice it up.
I mean, the new platforms come along like, you know, all the time. So, you know, when we originally did our DAS course, I mean, mostly what we're trying to do is give like an overview of, you know, I want to give like a core understanding of as to like what's going on. Like, I'm a big advocate of, you know, it's not just signing up for something and just doing step by step. Like, try to understand what's going on with the links. You know, look and see, okay, I'm putting this here, and I know that this goes here. You know, just try to follow around like how the link juice flows through the site that you're using, and then how you're utilizing it to channel on to either other sites or your money site. And I think when you start looking at links in that way, it's just going to open your eyes to
it's so
many other possibilities.
Principles over dogma, right? You guys don't have to believe anything that we're saying is true. You can go out and test it, and that is the difference. Okay, Brad, I'm on your PinBid site. I'll go ahead and hit you back on Skype.
Matt Cutts has a question? Dang.
Oh, you've
No,
got lots of questions, actually.
We heart you, Matt Cutts.
How did I get here? How come I didn't get that? Why don't I own more shares?
Wow. Isn't there a song? Like Water Under the Bridge? I can't remember what it is. How did I get here? You may ask yourself. Oh.
This is not my beautiful wife. It's not my beautiful company.
There we go.
All right, so we got more questions in here? Oh, you're just typing them as we go. Okay.
I am. You can read them off the screen.
All right, sounds good.
Lonnie, can you hit me up with what the problem is? I want to. You mentioned it in one of our Skypes. Just come over and let me look at your one feed supercharge, okay? Something's weird. It's probably your hosting.
Snow? Oh no, Jazz. So, you're not reading, nobody's reading any of these questions, so let me just start. Matt wants to know, are there any dangers of using fiber gigs for social signals on Tier 1? I know you use... Matt, I'm surprised you don't know the answer to this question.
Hell no. As always.
I know you use them on the Tumblr reblog tool. Just wanted to see if you use it on Tier 1 properties. Not such that I would tell Google. No. I'll let you answer that, Jimmy. Of course he's gone.
Which one are we on? Sorry, I'm in between eating dinner here.
Matt Cutts. You don't get to eat dinner. Next,
Are there
Put down that fork.
you're going to want to sleep next. Holy
Oh, that's
What
it.
did you interrupt my chewing?
Bye, guys.
Are there any dangers of using fiber gigs for social signals in Tier 1? I know you use them on Tumblr reblog tool. Just wanted to see if you use it on Tier 1 properties or use the same gigs over and over multiple properties. I mean, I do. I usually keep a collection of ones that I notice don't hurt things. There's also fiber gigs out there that will hurt things. So you just kind of got to test them on something. You know, like I just put up like a bunch of test domains that you don't care what happens to it, and just send them and see what happens to the site. Like, especially if it's a new gig that you haven't ever experimented with before, you just want to, you know, make sure you're checking that before you send it to something you actually care about. And you know, there's a lot of good ones out there, but there are some that can penalize you too, so you just got to be careful. I mean, a lot of them have to do with, You know, I'll give you 100 Google Plus things, all from the same email account and IP address.
What?
Imagine what Google's going to do with that once it rolls out.
I wonder why they all disappeared.
Why did my site go down?
Where's my
So yeah, just be careful when you're buying Fiverr, you know. Try to pay attention to reviews. You know, if you haven't used that particular person before, just make sure you test it out on something that, you know, you don't really care. Throw it at a Facebook page or something that isn't detrimental to the tier 1, or I mean to your money site. So
no, I'm not going to tell you guys that. I hurt myself with a Fiverr gig once. It was a test site. It's actually a Pinvid site about 2 years ago. I threw like 90,000 Wikimedia links at it. I was bored. It was a holiday. That didn't go over so well. That was before I knew you, Jimmy. C was out of town.
You have to hope.
No, you were totally out of town. I was alone on
That's
Christmas.
awesome.
It was 2000, like 3 years ago. Remember that time when
I'm never out of town for Christmas. What are you talking about? Christmas, I relish just sitting at home all alone.
No, you were totally busy. Like you were developing something. Like
Oh well,
I was
that's
just
possible.
I was messing around one night, so I bought like 30,000 Wikimedia links because I was all about MediaWiki, you know. And it was really bad. Like what happened? Like I lost like the fact or fiction keyword. I lost off the first page, and it was like not pretty. But it wasn't a real stress. Like I didn't care about the site, but you know I was hoping. Somebody told me that MediaWiki, right? I was like, I think you said no. I mean, you got to do more than that. But that's when MediaWiki was really popular. But I break a lot of stuff, you guys. So that's the only Fiverr gig that I really remember really was not good for the site. But there's a lot of them in there. You just really got to make sure. I mean, if you look at the way Jimmy uses Fiverr or Sue, we might use Fiverr with a lot of protection in our stack, and there might be something that we do. It's very clearly thought out before you just point and click. It's like, don't be using those things like people used to use SE Nuke, you know.
What?
They're just like,
I still use SE Nuke. What are you talking
I
about?
will give you 74,000 inbound links with SEO. Yeah,
Wait,
it's
I
one
put
thing
that
you
to
know
my
you do.
site. What are you talking about?
No, especially in the algorithm today too, is like less is more.
Yeah.
When you can, your goal is to rank with less links, and if you can stick to that principle when you're building your links, even on your tiers, you're going to do far better than if you're just hammering the heck out of everything. You can still hammer stuff on some properties. I'm not saying that it doesn't work at all. Just like when you're doing like a money site, like it can really go far.
Brad broke.
Mike
Brad,
can do that.
Yeah, Mike can do that.
Right, Mike Hayden? I know you're in the audience.
Mike, we know you're there.
I've seen him.
Where are you, Mike? Where's my theme, Mike? Hey, Brad Brokema. Brad Brokema, I'm sending you a very, very special private link about this site, and it'll help you, okay? Good. Nice.
Apparently Matt Cutts has officially retired from Google, and he wants to come work for us, the dark side.
Mario is pinging me every 7 questions about sending him the training with you and TLKT and vSilo. He just will not give up.
So
he's afraid that I'm going to. All right. I can't remember exactly which one I was talking about, but I'll see if I can dredge it up. Hang on, Mario. Hang on to your socks.
All right. So I think we got a couple questions from Heidi. You haven't done those yet.
We can bring him in as an intern, maybe.
Heidi, we're not ignoring you. Let's make sure we hit Heidi.
Yeah.
I mean, hit her question.
So, you're bad, Russell. I started saying this. She's such a sweetheart. You can't hit her.
Oh, no, I would never. That's why I was clarifying.
Okay, good. So, Heidi started setting up Google Analytics to track tags.
Right.
And was wondering if Jimmy could talk about how to link those without showing links for those. No, he can't talk about that. Jimmy talked about security, linking to tags without the page looking like it has any tags. Oh, this is the same question, just rephrased a different way. Do you know what she's talking about?
Where are you
Mr.
at?
Kelly?
Oh, okay.
Well, can you still see my screen?
We discussed some of that at the live event.
Oh yeah,
I know we talked about some of that on the live at OMG Live. So,
should it stay at OMG Live?
Yeah, it should actually. Heidi, that's a OMG Live question.
Okay. Sorry, Heidi.
But
you
didn't.
Can ping me, Heidi, if you have questions on that.
That was great stuff. Great stuff. Wow, I just realized we withheld information.
Well,
we always withhold information.
We actually have to. I mean, that comes down from David Mills and Mike Long. We have to withhold that.
What happened at Nashville stays in Nashville.
It really does and should.
In so many ways.
I wished I could forget it.
Right?
I don't even remember it. No.
Well, what do you know of that?
There was no tequila involved. I know that.
No, not even after that. And what were those string of glasses along the side of the table?
What string of glasses? I saw no glasses.
Okay, what other questions we got here before we get in trouble?
I think that's it. Does somebody want to give us a site to review? Or should we talk about software? Otherwise, I'm going to break up.
Challenging.
Mario's going to show up at my front door here if I don't get this. You guys go ahead.
Basic question from Clint. To this day, Moz is still recommending bold, excuse me, underlined and italics on the page for on-page factors. What are your thoughts, Mr. Kelly?
Hold on a sec. What's the question? Which one are you, where are you reading from now?
I'm reading. You can read on my screen now. I put it up here. Moz is still recommending bold, underlined, and italics.
Yeah, I mean, those add a little bit of weight. You know, if you're bolding or highlighting some of your keywords,
yeah,
you're just giving a little bit of extra stuff, extra weight on there, but it's, you know, is it going to make or break you ranking for it? Probably not, but I mean, it's going to give you a few extra point whatever towards your rankings.
Don't forget Mahmoud's question either, guys, because he's asking why you skipped him.
Oh, I thought we did him. I'm so sorry.
No.
When creating, that's because I didn't have a line in between, probably.
Yeah. Also, his name's hard to pronounce, so we didn't want to. Did we say that right, Mahmoud? Did I say that right? Yes.
When creating the supporting pages to a third level silo, it creates posts. Yes. Can we continue posting under posts under that silo instead of creating a separate blog? Yes, absolutely you can.
I have something to say.
I don't know if you should say it. Go for it.
Say it.
Think of how the Tumblr method works for those of you that watched that webinar.
Oh, are you talking about Tim's question here? Or are you just talking in general? You just like...
Yeah, just in general.
Okay.
So think of how that works. There's a lot of other properties on the web that do the same thing. So you can use the same method on other properties. Like we didn't like show it or go over it, but there's a lot of other ones out there. So just try to think of like what's going on with the Tumblr and when you're doing it, and think of other properties that you can utilize the same method on, because that same strategy works on multiple other properties, not just limited to the Tumblr. So I just want to put that out there.
Okay. Now would you answer Tim's question?
Still like Google and Facebook track IP
no, this
sites.
This one here.
Oh.
Sorry.
Tumblr method. You get 500 reblogs on you post. Is there an advantage to using multiple feeds with a portion of the reblogs? For example, you make a sticky post of one of your blog posts and add 20 reblogs to that one, create feed, then create another feed, make a different page sticky, add another 20 reblogs. Are there any problems with doing this? No. Like I don't worry about that because you know, your goal is to get that juice passed back over to the money site, so you're not going to run into any issues with that. But I would say that if you're going to do that with your sticky, you know, making them sticky within your feed, you want to make sure that you're making different posts sticky. You don't make the same one sticky over and over.
Mario, I'm dropping this to everybody, so grab it from the group chat. Oh, I love this question, Sue. Can I, Jimmy, were you done with that thought, or?
Yes.
This is a great question. Thank you very much, Patrick. Is there a method to protect the site from negative SEO?
Yes.
Yes. Can we talk about it here? Or can we give a
No.
interesting but incomplete response?
Come to CERT.
Okay. Or
We'll show you how to bulletproof your site.
yeah, let me just say this more diplomatically than just no. The main thing is that we call all that also prevention. Site hospital and recovery should not be looked at as only that. Patrick, we are more and more positioning it and viewing it as prevention. Because some of the stuff that I've learned, speaking purely as a student, is that there is a ton of things that once you know how to break a site and recover it, more or less every time, I mean there are exceptions, but then you're going to be aware of what things could go wrong, and you're going to kind of be able to prevent that and set yourself up, if not completely prevent it by setting up a quick response unit or a set of actions that can get you recovered and protected. And there's obviously a lot more to that too. There's bulletproof things that can be done, but that's a general. It's kind of way beyond the scope of what Director's Cut is about, but just know that that is there. Orlando is saying a site's currently being negative SEO'd. Okay.
Matt,
Undercurrentness, Sue, if you would just finish my sass.
Oh, you are going to get, just when I thought you couldn't get any more trouble today, you're really pushing the line. Like, you're really pushing it. Oh, God. I don't even want to be around after this webinar.
Oh, my.
So,
Jazz, Whips doesn't even come close to it, Jazz.
If you're under, what's the website? Like, do you want me to just look at it right now?
Ooh, wow.
How about that? I'll just give you a disavow file right now. If you guys want to watch me do it, then we can do it right here.
Oh, God. We just can't.
Like, we're not going to do negative SEO. We'll just give him what he needs to prevent it from going down.
Jimmy is out of the cage.
But you have to be willing to share your URL with the group.
What do you think, Sue?
No.
No, she doesn't want to do it, Jimmy.
Fine.
No. Look, you can't give me heartache all day and then expect me to let you have your way, okay?
Yes.
Jimmy is amped. Guys, look, you guys, we have a traffic hospital for this very reason. Can I say this? By introducing this as an element, we take Director's Cut to a whole nother level of complexity that is honestly not that great for the group. Like, it really isn't. And we have a separate category. Well, Jazz, you ask why, because, yeah, absolutely. It's complex.
So, can we at least tell them about what's coming?
It is a married group, Patrick. This is a giant freaking prearranged marriage, this Director's Cut community.
Jimmy, I was actually distracted. What was it that you wanted to show them that I told you that you couldn't?
Oh, I thought we could just give them the disavow like right now.
We're going to try to help,
we can do a
we're gonna try to help
absolutely.
Orlando.
No,
we're just messing with you guys.
Yeah,
Orlando, what's the site?
No. Absolutely. He sent you the site too, right?
Paul's like, I knew it was all kinds of freaky in here.
You have no
Paul, I like
idea.
You just won points with me at our next conference. I will do something for free.
Wait, is that?
Orlando, we need your. Okay, there it is. Here's the site.
Well, isn't that
NewYorkSEOexpert.org?
Isn't that Greg's site?
Orlando, is that actually yours? Greg, are you posing as Orlando? No, that's not Greg's site.
Okay. All right. Let me at least start the report, unless you guys actually want to watch.
Wait a second, that does sound like Greg's site. Hang on, let me just look at it real quick. Somebody's pulling a trick on us.
Nah. I think
I haven't met you. Okay, thanks, Orlando. I haven't met you personally, and I know a lot of people in here, so just checking to make sure you're not doing like Matt Cutts is doing and not using your real identity. Okay. Yeah, this is huge. Let's do it. This is not Greg's site.
We could do it. Do you have access to the Google Webmaster Tools, Orlando? Okay, log into your disavow tool. We'll like run everything right now.
Jimmy, you're in a mood.
While that's going on, we've got a couple more questions.
Good.
Did we?
You scored, Orlando. You got a
for the
major
Tumblr method. If you can't add stuff to the client site that has viral quality to it, can you add it to the subdomain, and will it carry weight?
Interesting.
If you can't add stuff to the client site that has viral quality to it.
I need a favor from. Let me take a screenshot so you know where to go.
I think it's time for Guns N' Roses.
Oh, Zenith. Did we miss your question, Zenith? I'm so sorry, Zenith. Sites like Google and Facebook track IPs. I'm getting... Just let me know, guys, if I missed your question. It's not intentional.
She has a hard time staying between the lines.
Right? It's...
Oh, man.
Clearly everybody's drinking tequila except me.
It's been a long time.
What am I doing with this coffee, man? All right. Sites like Google and Facebook track IP sites where you log in from. When using proxies or VPN, should you show some consistency? That's a good question. So consistency, I know that Google is picky about consistency. So like if I log in all the time here in Mesa at my home, which has got a fairly static IP address, and then I go to Nashville, it wants to know, it challenges me because it's not just a different IP, but it's a different part of the country, right? So yes, showing some consistency is a good thing. Otherwise, you're going to, there's no bad thing about it so long as you can verify that the Google account is yours, it's fine. You don't have to worry about it. But, if you don't want to be verifying that the account's yours all the time, then some consistency is good. All right, so back down here to Matt.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch.
Did we actually answer Matt's question?
Did you get that screenshot there, Orlando?
Method if you can't answer my site viral quality. Can you edit it and will it carry weight? So Matt, as far as the adding stuff to the subdomain, it's the same kind of thing. Like, Lordy mama. It just depends. Like, I'm sorry, but that's one of those, it just depends. So think about this for a second. So, like, some of my clients are really flexible and not terribly picky, and then others of my clients are really, like, strict. And so if they found out, like, you're going to have to be straight with your client and tell them what it is you're doing, because if they find out about it after the fact, you can lose the client, and that's never cool. So, so if they're good with whatever your viral can't talk anymore. Whatever your viral content is, then yeah, absolutely, you can add it to subdomain. Ideally, it would be thematically relevant, and you'd put a banner on it and drive some of the traffic over to your to the actual buy page. But
with the Tumblr method, also if you're going to like manipulate the shares, not get real shares, so you're not concerned about the viral type aspect of it. You could just pull the image, like just pull the logo off the home page and put that up as your image in your Tumblr blog. So you could do that too. So you should have some kind of picture or video that you can do from the client side for that method.
So could you take the same picture, put it in Tumblr, Pinterest, and Twitter, buying reblog, repin, retweets, etc.? Should we stick to properties that offer an RSS feed? I would say so. If you want to use that.
That's a great idea. Yeah, that's a good idea. Just to chime in there a little bit on that question from Mahmood, I have noticed when working with Roz on a couple things recently that it's really, really useful to have a, what the hell? Oh, to have a separate, I'm sorry, I'm having some really weird stuff happen here. To have a different list of sites that have RSS versus ones that don't.
Indeed.
It's really helpful because I care more about the sites that I can automate than the ones that I can't. But if you're domain authority stacking in the pure sense and you're doing some really big leverage stuff like Jimmy shows you in the DOS course or elsewhere in Director's Cut elsewhere in OMG, then those things are going to, like, you know, the About Us method or these. So I'm finding that that list of ones with decent RSS out versus ones that don't has become pretty valuable.
Cool. Oh, I got this twice.
It's DAWs.
Right?
It's DAWs to you.
Domain owning.
Beautiful, darling. Beautiful.
All right, now you're really starting to scare me.
I'm sorry, I'll tone down my meds.
Or share. One or the other is going to happen.
No, don't. No. Yeah, I'll have what he's having. All right, cool.
All right. We're out of questions, Mr. Kelly.
Okay, guys. Thank you. Good night.
I'm just seeing if, Orlando, were you able to download those two files out of Google Webmaster Tools?
Yeah,
from that screenshot?
He doesn't see the download button.
So when you're in, so once you click on your site under search traffic.
Can't you just show them on the? Oh, you can't show them.
Okay, yeah, I'll show them. It's fine. I don't think this one's bad.
Since we're in a group situation, let's just have everybody hunt down his enemy and pick them off one backlink at a time.
If you want the negative SEO, everyone
nuked. DOS attack.
Okay, let me share my screen.
City on the hill.
I'd like to list my
Hashtag
services.
Hashtag.
Just kidding, of course.
Just
okay,
kidding.
so once you click on your site, Orlando, you're just going to come down here to search traffic, click on links to your site, and then you'll see this screen. Just want to click on, or can you guys see this okay? Specifically Orlando. You click on more. Once you click on more, you'll see all the links that Google says going to your site. I need you to download the Download Latest Links tab, and I need you to download more sample links. And then, do you have me on Skype? I think I've talked to you before, but I'm not sure. Or is there a way to, I just need to get those files from you somehow. Mike Hayden, are you on?
He was.
He always goes to bed. Actually, probably went for his morning run.
What a wimp. This bed stuff, these people who wouldn't sleep.
So typically when I'm doing DAS,
DAWs.
Here, I'll pull it up in the other screen. I'll take a screenshot so you can see. I rolled this out 2 weeks ago for DAS. And I'll show you the results so far. Where is my freaking login? Russ, where's my password?
Okay, hang on, I'll get it. Been changed. I changed it.
Okay, let me see. I'm going to pull this over. Okay, I sent you a contact request, Orlando. And I'll pull this up while you're getting me the files. And this is still rolling out, but I'll just take a screenshot of their current keywords.
A-team.
How's everybody doing tonight? Let's see.
We got an interesting question. I mentioned that we use
All right.
Google Drive.
Here you go. So this is after 2 weeks. It's had a 239 push in the SERPs. And this is from Ranking Nowhere. This is a brand new site, just doing DAS on it. Probably by next week this is going to hit. So these are a little bit off because there's a 7-pack involved. So even though this is 22, it's really 15.
Okay.
So you just got to take off 7 off each of these numbers. So most of them are sitting on middle of page 2, somewhere in page 3 range. And their primary keywords was this one here, the 22nd and the 23rd. So these were the primary keywords I was pushing on. But with the rest of them, they're all just kind of coming up and falling into place. So this one will be, so these are 15 now. Probably by next week, they probably should be sitting around number 6 or 7. And then I'll just do one final push on it, and it'll be up at number 1. So so you should see good movement. If you got your DAS system down, you should be seeing stuff. I mean, you know, we rolled out pretty surgically, but you should be seeing something in probably your first time doing DAS. Might be 3 to 4 weeks, depending on how you piece each part together. But you should be seeing some kind of positive movement, at least within 2 weeks, if you're helping them get indexed.
Right.
So
You've got to move it, move it.
yes. And I'm going to go over here and grab the stuff from Orlando. I'm doing some stuff off to the side here so you guys can't see all my logins and junk like that.
But it's a really pretty image of something.
But I'll pull it back over in a minute.
Are you gaming again? Busted.
What
You're
have got
gaming
it on a
again.
day like
Caught
today?
him. That explains a lot.
Right?
So, and you could do this kind of stuff with anything else. So I had him send me both of the files that he downloaded because just found that most of this stuff gets put into like they give you some of them under the recent, and then the other ones they don't give you anything. But you're definitely under negative SEO here, so I can tell just by looking. So we'll see what we can do. So we're just going to go in here. So Orlando, did you already drop for your keyword that you were ranking on? Pull up this other file. Takes a little bit of time to do this.
People who are decaffeinated might sleep.
Don't worry, it'll be quick once we get through these reports and stuff.
That's okay. I'll play some music for you guys while you're waiting.
There you go.
I should change the song. You've got to move it, move it. Okay, I'm getting some of you guys copying me directly. I'm answering.
Okay. Bear with me, but I was to be a little thorough since he's getting negatively attacked.
Yeah.
What's the name of the site?
Well,
New York Expert.
Zenith, did you just call me a previous generation? Okay, I'm trying to figure out how to remove Zenith from this pump. Kidding. Zenith Rose says, yes, change the song, have mercy on it. Oh, previous generation. Okay. I thought I was the previous generation. Dude. Okay, I'll put the Beatles on then, Zenith. Is that cool? I know. I know. Led Zeppelin, fantastic. Love it.
Okay, so we did that. I'm just going to grab the site and start the report. And we're going to do one on this one. And I want to come in here and do upload your own backlink list. This is where I go to put in the two files that he gave me. It takes a little bit of time to run this, but so now we can answer more questions while that runs out. Then we will walk you through the entire process, but as soon as the report's done, this will be pretty quick.
That was an accident that time.
And very, very likely you will see rankings return pretty quickly. Usually with negative SEO text, you see them respond pretty quick once you disavow.
Jay, that would be Google link shortener.
Does anybody else have any questions they'd like to ask? While we sit here waiting for reports. Stairway to Heaven.
Jeff's like, turn that off. Yes, I'm extremely creative.
Tim asked, follow-up Tumblr, if the real power in the Tumblr method is the links, how important is it to use one feed after? Well, it's important because that'll, well, I don't know, it depends. Typically, if you have your own network of Tumblr blogs and they're already powered up, so you don't have to do the feeds after it. If you've already powered it up, then you need to get more juice to those pages. So it just kind of depends what you want to do. But if you're doing brand new ones, I always include the feeds because you can always get more traffic and stuff going through some of those Tumblr feeds that you're creating. So it doesn't hurt to do that, especially if you're taking those feeds and throwing them into other social properties at that point too. So you can basically automate your entire DA stack with those types of methods. Could you recommend a good project management software tool to help me manage my client information and procedures?
Yes. Depends on what you're trying to manage. We use GQs in-house, and we use some other things depending upon what you're trying to accomplish.
For procedures, yeah, we don't use it so much for the client information.
No, not for client information. But internal execution we do.
Yeah. We actually use Google Docs typically for a lot of the client information.
Yeah. Don't overthink that stuff too much. Everybody's looking for a perfect reporting system.
There's not one.
At the end of the day, you're going to be managing it. Don't believe the hype. Unless it's my hype, of course.
George O'Brien asked, here's one with physicians. There are a ton of, let's say, iDirectories?
I think it just means directories.
With incorrect addresses. Fixing each requires sacrificing firstborn. Are there ways to deny links in search results? They seem to no follow because they don't show it. They don't show and backlinks analyzing. You can always, so this is kind of interesting. Before I started getting into, I used to do like a refer or redirect in my htaccess, and I just threw them all to Google. But I would do it on like a link per link basis, but looking back on it now, I'm not sure how effective that is. So the other method was always to like gut the page. So if you're sitting on a www version of your site, you can switch it to your non, or just the root. Or if you're doing, you know, if it's just a blog post or whatever, then you can just always just delete that, do a 410 until it's permanently gone, so it'll kill the link juice. Those are the methods I've tried, and they work pretty good. Let's see.
I don't know if that's actually George's question, because where he's talking about directories with an incorrect address, are you meaning like citation type links, where Google's picking up the business with the wrong address? Or are you just talking about wanting to ditch the links? They're showing the SERPs and they're wrong. You know, there are a few services out there that...
Does the URL go to the right place, or is it just the address that's wrong? Or is the URL wrong?
I bet it's the physical address that's wrong. It is a pain for local. Yeah, the physical address is wrong.
Well, you could try building a Google Places page with the address that's wrong, and then merging them through telling Google that it moved over to the other one. You could probably try that.
But that's still...
That would move everything over.
But that's, you're still... So what his problem is, though, is that these other sites with the wrong address is ranking. Right? And so it's bad for the client because they're not getting the traffic. They're not getting...
What kind of... Can you give us an example?
It's like a local business. I had this problem with a local business, but I did finally find...
It's coming from like webmd.com.
Hey, dang. I'm surprised that you can't contact the webmasters and get that taken care of. I know it's a pain, but like for it's probably an 80-20 rule. Like 20% of them are bringing you 80% of the each requires a phone verification. I would find somebody who'll do the work for cheap and get them to do it.
Did we answer the Tumblr one already? With the Tumblr method, can you remove the viral content from your website? Example, the photo once the original viral effect is gone, let's say 2 to 3 weeks later. Yeah, as long as there's some other thing that's, if you put the source in there, that should be fine to remove the image. A lot of the times when I do the Tumblr method, I don't even put the source. I just put the link or the video that I'm trying to push. But I make sure that the URL is from my site, not from, like Flickr or something like that. So as long as there's something that's tying it back to your website, it's fine to remove it once it's done. I tested building out the one feed and then building a few backlinks to that feed with PBNs. Initial results dropped, did 3 days ago. Not a smart move. Just wait on it, Tim. You'll see a lot of times when you apply power to some of that stuff that they do go backwards a little bit. and sometimes they'll go backwards a lot, but I usually wait. I usually give it like a week or two and just wait for that power to settle into that link and then see where it does when it comes back. If something went awry, then I'll just go and disavow them. And then you'll pop back up. So either way, that's typically what I'll do. My Google Places has been ranking between 3 and 4 for more than a year. Today I looked and it's dropped to 11. Does this happen often? It can. It depends on, it depends on the competition of your maps. I mean, you could have an SEO person in there that's going nuts and that's, giving you a lot of competition all of a sudden. I've also seen where you can be over-optimized with your anchor text to the URL that you've connected up with your Places account. That can also cause suppression. But typically those are the two things that you see, but I haven't seen it go back beyond that. But I would look at, on your site, Lonnie, I would suggest just taking a look and seeing, what you're trying to rank for and see the types of anchor text you use to go to the site that's connected with the Google account, because you could just have too many keyword, that includes long tails. You could have just too many exact match type keywords in the links. I have a site that is number 9 in Google, page 1 for like a month, which is the best way to move it up further. Have you tried doing some links to your Tier 1 links, Joe? Yeah, have you used anything to power up your Tier 1s? Try doing that. Try to go in and send some links. As opposed to building more Tier 1 links, try to think about how you can add quality or more juice to the links you already have. Not spam, but how you can improve the quality of those links. So whether you try to make some of those, take some of your Tier 1s and put that through the Tumblr method. You could just take some other PBNs that you have and send it to your Tier 1 links. Try to give those some love. You could also do DAS to your Tier 1, works really well in addition to that. So try that and see if it'll move up some more. If it doesn't, by next week, hit us up again on the question box.
Jay asked, is using Google URL shortener okay to use on JVZoo affiliate links? Are those affiliate links no follow? If it's no
Google
follow,
shorteners are do follow.
Yeah, but the affiliate link through that, I'd have to look at an affiliate link from JVZoo.
And the first one is almost done. We're just waiting. Sorry it takes so long, you guys. I appreciate you guys all sticking around. It'll finish up here at some point. Got one of the reports almost done, and we're going to go after the second one. So, here's a question for you guys. What kind of software would you think would be the coolest thing to build? If you could build any software, what would be the number one on your wish list? Just out of question. If anybody has any ideas. Something that's tedious, that they do all the time. Complete desk decks from start to finish. Yeah, when it comes to SEO, like an SEO type thing.
I want a... No, I can't chime in. That's not fair.
Had to figure out women.
Tom James has it right. I would build meta software. Software that builds software.
Who builds software that builds software?
P equals PN.
That's like the, what was that? What was that show that we watched, Russ, that was slow? It's got that white cover. And it's like the robot that built the other robots.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember what that was?
I think we would have had too many beers.
Can't remember what it was. That was a pretty slow movie, though.
Yeah. So slow we can't remember the name.
A mind map software for link building.
We're on that one, Zenith. That's on our list. It's a organizational framework that helps you keep track of your network and all the links locating. So for those of us who are visual learners and mappers like myself, and probably you, it is seriously on the radar. And
I would say the coolest thing, I could show them my equal smart pin too. That thing's freaking awesome.
That is cool. Yeah, I got mine right here. It's sitting here. I haven't even opened it yet. They deliver it in like 4 hours. I mean, it's just crazy. It's like, what planet do we live on? I turn around, the guy's standing there. I'm like, no, can't be.
Oh, is that what's on my doorstep?
Yeah, probably.
Dang.
We ordered one at the same time. Crazy. It's like a genie in a bottle. Click. Hello.
Come on. You think this thing would go a little faster?
Nah.
It's almost there. Every time I need it to go fast, it's always slow. And every time, like, I'm just kind of messing around, it seems like it finishes it really quick.
Right?
It's probably wake-up time in Germany. That's probably why these servers are going slow.
Could be. Everybody's hitting the reporting.
I blame Australia.
Auto-populate updated citations, so all the content will...
Traffic Hospital is not closed. There are places where you can buy it. Oh, I should blame New Zealand.
Are you going to send them to a place to go get it?
Well, I would, but I don't have the screen, so you'll have to send them.
Oh. Is it on my page?
It is on your page, shockingly enough.
Oh. Okay, that's what I thought. I know we took it down in most places. But... You can go here.
It's also available inside the members area.
So down here, you can get access to other courses. This link may or may not be active.
Oh, that's not there. There.
Well, this is clickable right there, but
click on it.
I guess it is only through the members area now, right?
Click on it, see what happens.
You think I would pay attention to my site?
Not you. I don't even think you edit your site, do you?
No, I just
we
send
asked
stuff to
them
Russ.
Right?
Yeah. Send it over
Along
this
with
way.
your passwords.
Passwords?
Keep track of this.
Hey, I'm happy to put it in my RoboForm. Whatever you need, buddy.
All right,
Yeah,
inside the members
see.
area is what it looks like.
Yep, members area is the only place for it.
Hit the landing page in the members area.
Well, I have to log into the...
No, you don't. The landing page is open.
Is it?
Yeah. networkempire.com/members-area.
Oh, I should play Light It Up for Jimmy. Hang on. I'm going to play one of Jimmy's favorite songs. Okay.
All right, where the heck would we find this?
Scroll down just a little bit to the table.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
And you should find it there.
Somewhere in here. There it is.
There it is. There's the buy the advanced upgrade and the member special pricing.
They don't have access to those webinars, though, do they?
What webinars?
The 2 secret webinars? Oh, they get that if they go to this...
Certification.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I see what you mean. It's like, we were supposed to take those down. Okay, so there you go.
Yep.
So there is one place you can get it for those that were watching. Let's see how we're doing on this report. It's almost there, you guys. It's at 93 beautiful %, so it's almost done. It'll be good. Thank you for sticking around, you guys. I know gets tedious and boring from time to time.
Would you answer Andrew's question privately to me?
Where is Andrew's question?
Ooh, look at that
From
question.
the top. From the bottom.
I'm not answering that one. I'm not going to touch that one.
So,
oh, they're asking about your PenVid course, Russ. Where can they get a link for that? Is that still open, or was that a class version? I can't remember.
Where's the question?
it's right at the bottom, Shane.
Okay.
One bourbon, one scotch, one beer.
Are you placing orders for all of us, Jimmy, or was that just for you?
Well, I was just thinking of myself as usual, but where's my sass?
Your sass. Sassy. I can't find your song, Jimmy. Your Light 'em Up song. Who sang that? What was that song? Light 'em Up.
Oh,
Who was that?
the one that I listen to when I do bad stuff on the web.
Don't say it. Oh my God. Zero censors. All censorship is gone at this point.
It's Fallout Boy.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was
Songs Know What You Did in the Dark.
Yeah, that's it. Okay. Okay. All right, I got it.
Oh, this is an interesting webinar.
Come on. The heck. 5%, you guys. Hang in there.
We got it. We're going to light this guy up for Orlando. Hashtag, we take care of our own. Double hashtag, / something, tilde key, underscore.
I think I'm too young to be on this webinar. I'm too naive. Wait.
Yeah, so it would be like DOS, clickety clickety click, unrecognizable character. Server implodes. Goodbye, Orlando's enemy. Oh, that would be so.
It's a great song.
Good thing it's not Friday night.
So light.
Right? It feels like Friday night.
They would be so toast.
There are reasons why I didn't schedule our webinars for Fridays.
Yes,
The Death
exactly.
Star is
We just like
operation.
get rid of all of our director's cut enemies. If you're in director's cut, you will never have a negative SEO.
Let's see. Don't forget, just one.
Kane, I'm not drinking at all, believe it or not.
My best move to rank my site next 2 months to page 1.4-year-old. Depends, Greg. So, you know, like when you have, so this screenshot, wherever it went, I don't know where it went. It's kind of interesting when you do less links and you start out with it right off the bat. Like you can rank new sites super easily now. You don't have to have age, and typically if they have existing links, they're harder because, you know, most of the links going into the site, if they've done SEO on them in the past, is all like, you know, it's not focusing on manipulating the trust flow kind of thing. So, you know, sometimes it can be hard to get to move Whereas if you just did a brand new site, it can move even faster because you know all those links coming in are going to pass more trust flow. So, you know, sometimes I talk about it being on a scale, like if you could picture just a weight scale, like a balance scale, and on one side you did a bunch of little rocks, and those little rocks can add up over time, but then, you know, when you put a high trusted link in, those could be a little bit bigger rock. So you can tilt the scale if you're thinking of the little rocks as being low quality links eventually with DAS, but it's so much easier to tilt the scale when you start off with the bigger rocks right off the bat. So, you know, the goal is to rank with as few links as possible because it's going to maximize the trust flow of the site. So, yeah. But yeah, that's what you want to do.
Okay.
So how long would it take when you're trying to rank in the next 2 months? I would say it depends on if you have existing links going to it or not. So, but you should be able to rank a site, you know, depending on your keyword. If it's a local keyword or a medium keyword, I'd say definitely within 2 months you should be able to rank. Once you have the techniques down. If it's a big keyword, then I don't know. That depends on your competition. Depends on your technique. So it can come down all to that. In the meantime, should we all go watch Orlando's video on his website? Might pass the time.
You should light them up.
We're almost there. We're at 98%.
Now, for the last 20 minutes of this webinar, we are going to watch a Netflix movie and wait for Orlando to recover.
I think Jimmy should demo his favorite TLKT thing.
Oh, that would be cool.
My favorite TLKT thing?
Yes.
Orlando finally cracked up on the wine watching
That
Jimmy
thing
Roll.
isn't in there, though. We never.
Well, then it can't be your favorite thing, can it?
But we haven't added it to the general filters yet.
Well, then demo something else. Is that the only thing about TLKT you like?
Well, no, there's lots of other cool things I like.
Dude, what have I done to you? Always selling. You've been hanging out with me for too long.
I have, indeed.
My favorite thing, my two favorite things are the two filters for mine in there. Those are my two favorite things. I use them all the time. So whether I'm using it for backlinking or just finding stuff to rank for, you know, so.
So what you're saying is I should drag Scott out of bed and get the SIP filter in there?
Yes.
Yeah,
along with the sasses.
Ken is
Yes.
saying we said we would add something.
Whip him to get my sass.
Okay, I'm putting them in the
Want it in a
developer chat room right now. Here it goes. Scott. Scott. Jimmy says you are
Like,
lazy.
probably the Jimmy supporting keyword is my favorite in there because I use this for everything.
Delete, delete, delete.
I use it for a lot, I guess. You know,
Ooh, he's mad.
can help silo stuff out, but especially like, you know, using this on other properties that are going to do, you know, that you could also possibly rank. So like, I would create a site in my DAS cluster about like motion sensor alarm or something, or, you know, GE alarm system. Like these are all pretty cool outdoor motion detectors. So, because these also, if you can rank these and then get the traffic back over your money site, like these are perfect for doing on your 2.0 stuff. But it's also great for getting other keyword diversity in there. Like, depends on how big your niche is, but you can always play with a filter to drop it down.
Thanks
Like
for
if you're
reminding
going
him.
super niche specific, then you can always tweak these numbers so they display more keywords if you come back with a list that's not quite big enough. So you can always play with some of those. But, you know, I was going to say, what's the other? I think I put a custom one in here at one point.
Yeah, it's in there still.
Where is the custom column? Let's see. Yeah, monthly amount. Yeah, so I have put some of these in here. I think.
What's
so monthly
SEO2?
amount?
Is that yours?
I did this based off of like, conversions and things. I already had ranking in. Like obviously this is not the same niche for this filter, but well, let me see. I could go pull the niche it's in. Let me go find my keywords. Projects. Cum. Let's see. So, where is it at? Here you go. This is what I specifically created it for. So I want to see the possible return that you can get in the niche depending on the keywords. So it always helps to have like a dollar amount connected on there onto your custom column so you can exactly narrow down based on your conversions and rough amount of traffic that you're getting. So I really do like the custom columns too because you can kind of adjust it to what your site is currently converting. So, and then based off of how much you get paid per lead or whatever your business model is. Let's see.
Did you guys know that you can actually type a long tail into the last keyword tool and it's the only keyword tool on the market you can do that? I'm sorry, that still blows my mind as I was making Amazon book title length menus for my PinVid sites using TLKT yesterday. That's some crazy stuff. Yeah, you guys could actually take it's better if it's like a mid-tail, but you could actually take a super long tail. You can put an entire book title in TLKT and it'll actually try to squeeze LSI terms out of that.
What he means is you can drill into a book title and it'll bring keywords back.
Yeah, and in fact I do. That's how I build my PinVid side menus.
I'd have to log into my other account. This one is full.
Full?
Yeah, I can't put any more projects in this.
You could delete some projects. Hello? Like normal people.
Fast stuff.
Well, I could. Or we could just create another account for me.
You want to log into mine, you can. Be sure to show everybody the password so we can all get in here. There's only 75 people in this room. Everybody, let's really server test this thing. Everybody drill at once.
It could handle that, actually.
I know it could now. I actually had a limit on my Kraken drills the other night. I said, we're sorry.
Yes, you did.
You're not qualified to drill anymore. You've maxed out your account. Please pay here. I was like,
yeah.
What?
I had to put that on your account.
I know.
It's just your account that has that.
You're kidding, right? Tell me you are kidding.
Can I show them? I should show them the other thing. I should show them the trident.
You're not. Dude, he's not really going to open that, is he?
No, I won't.
Anything you did today would not surprise me.
Yeah. Right?
I mean, I'm already in trouble, so I might as well just go all the way.
Dad's taking you on, just so you know.
Let's see. This is still running out. Probably not, Brad. I can't repeat what you just said to the group, but it would take a lot.
It's almost done, I swear.
Trident is a mega operating situation which we're not supposed to discuss here. It's a software we're developing that you put in one keyword, and it drills out every possible silo, every possible WR1, WR2, and WR3.
Dominates your market for you.
With literally, a way to talk about push button millions, and it doesn't really exist?
It doesn't.
It kind of does.
It doesn't exist. No, it doesn't exist anywhere.
It's called Trident. So we've been working on that for 7 years, so you guys know it's not a small project, but it's pretty much complete. And we've only talked to you guys and maybe a few other people about it. Hi, good question, Mahmood. So, he's asking, is Trident English only?
No.
It can do.
Of course not.
No, it can do any language.
Yeah, it does all the languages that Kraken does.
What language do you need, Mahmood?
Not every language, but.
So you go into Kraken. Should I go from my Kraken account?
What's your language, Jazz? Language.
Yes.
Yeah, we have it in French, I believe.
It's an even easier market to dominate. I mean...
Yeah, French is not even a search engine, it's just a website.
I hear that.
That's like New Zealand. This is not a search engine, this is like a site, it's a directory. There's like 5,000 links. 200 keywords.
Does anyone ever use... We don't actually talk about Kraken too much with this group, do we?
No.
No.
I don't think it was on our curriculum. Jazz is pouting now.
Kraken
Again.
is cool for, like, if you guys going into a big market, this probably wouldn't be helpful for if you're going into, like, local type stuff.
Right. No.
But if you're going into a market where you know you're going to hit, like, fitness in general and every product and every keyword in fitness, then you use Kraken. Because Kraken will tell you where money is. You can basically just track down everything you want to do, and then you can build a blueprint out of what you drill down here. You can add these to your blueprint.
Silo blueprint.
And let me see if I can pull this up. So this is one that I was teaching Carrie on. But basically you could just add all these in, and you can export this and you can put it into the silo builder, and it'll just plop all those pages into your site, which is pretty cool.
Thanks, Orlando. Orlando says Kraken is awesome. I agree. Also, you can import them directly into the Video Kraken plugin and produce highly relevant, weird videos, weird tails, long tails, mid tails, and super long tails with TLKT. We show all that in the automatic video traffic stuff as well. It's just so crazy, like the power of this thing.
Can I tell them the way to, like, drill everything at once?
No.
Okay.
You can try.
Go ahead, Jimmy. You can, actually.
It works with every account except for Russell's.
I know. I was wondering. I kept opening new tabs, and it was like, not working.
Oh, cool. So we got one done, so we'll start on that. Okay. So typically when I'm under a negative SEO attack, I am going to look at everything. So we pulled the links out of Webmaster Tools, but I also look at what's current. And for those of you that don't know, like, Link Research Tools pulls from either 22 or 24 different like link aggregators, basically. So like they pull this data from most of the major ones that you're probably paying for now. And he uses that, and he's got some different terms and stuff for some of these things in here, but there's basically the same kind of stuff. You got power and you got trust.
Right.
So when you come down here, like most people will say, oh, I just got to look at the toxic. Like, screw that. Just come into here, click on Detox Rules Breakdown. Okay. You're looking, so the things I always get are Tox 1, 2, and 3, because Tox 1 and 2 I think are like malware and porn and hacked and bad mojo type sites. Some of them are already identified as bad links from all the other people that use this tool that know that it's part of a link network, and he throws all this stuff into one pot. So I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to type in what my what my filters are. So maybe I should bust out the trusty red arrow.
Oh no.
It's the highlight of my night.
Yeah. It wouldn't be a real gamification without the red arrow.
It couldn't be a DC webinar without the red arrow.
Bring that red arrow.
So this is what I'm looking at, right? So after you run the detox, like, these are the filters that are, he's classified all the links into these filters. And so all I'm concerned about are penguin ones, because when you're under a negative SEO attack, typically they're trying to kill your site with neighborhoods or over anchorage, and that's it. So I'm just going to go in here, I'm going to write down, so this is for the general list, right?
Yeah.
So this is the general scrape, and the other one that's running is for his Webmaster Tools specific scrape. So I'm just going to write these down because we're going to filter these out for this. So, so we got 22. You can see right here, possible link network. So has the same linking domains as other domains, 148 of those. So we want to write that down. 22. We go to the next one. We're just going to scroll down the list, and I'm just going to pull out the worst case ones, possible link network here. So we're going to do suspicious 23. We're going to go to the next one, like negative link velocity trend and weak site and blah, blah, blah. Who gives a crap? So you just go in here. You're just looking for link networks because that's what Penguin is. It's a bad neighborhood thing.
Would you define neighborhood?
Like IP clusters of pure glowing spam on the internet. That if you could actually visualize the internet, you could actually point it out on a map.
Right. Exactly. Damn.
Because it's SEO fail 101.
Right.
Okay, so here's an interesting one. So this one plays into Panda, right? This is possible. So you have a link from a possible penalized page. So typically this is where they're either not indexed or they've been hit with Panda themselves. So that's not a huge number, but without really diving into the links, I'm just going to include it because it's not like it's going to hurt rankings. So
Right.
I'm just going to put suspicious 4. Links from potentially spammy forum. You know, I'll probably include that one this time because they're probably using GSA or SENuke or something, more likely. Reduce suspicious 9. And I don't care if the domain doesn't have any page rank. We're going to use 7 and 12. Okay, and that's all she wrote on that. So now we need to go grab these links. We need to filter these because we just want to disavow these, and then we're going to include it with our other file. So what we need to do is do show all columns. And we're just going to filter this. So we want to do, you go under the detox rules right here. And I'm just going to come in here. Oh, well, that wasn't what I wanted to do, but it doesn't matter. And we're going to click on Tox 1, Tox 3, and I'm just going through these. I have this pulled off on the other side, but that's what I'm selecting, so it filters to it.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll just show. So the next one I'm going to grab is suspicious 22. 22, 23, 24, 30 was the forum junk. We're going to do 7, 9, and 12. 7, 9, whoops. And I hate how it refreshes each time. Trust me, absolutely insane.
No problem, Chris Lee. We'll give you the replay, okay? Come on back and watch out with Jimmy finish this up. See you later.
Yeah, I'm thankful people are sticking around. This is kind of fun. You guys get to watch me just do
You actually didn't want to go. It's stuff to do. Yeah.
Suspicious 4.
There's a lot of thanks coming down the screen, Jimmy, for you actually showing the hands-on with this. It's unexpected. And really, they're really digging it.
So now this just filtered for all of this stuff. Okay, and you can do this anytime. So basically, you know, you should just do a check at least once a week. If you just go to Majestic, it's a free. If you don't sign up, I think if you just at least give them an email, you can get like 10 or 20 free runs in Majestic. But it's a good way, you know, if you're not using any other link building tool, to just see like how's the link velocity going on this. So we'll just put his site in here just to see, what this looks like. Like, how aggressive are they being? So, go referring domains. And do cumulative. So it doesn't seem like it's a tremendous spike in here. Let's see. Oh, of course you're going to make me sign in. Hold on a sec. Let me pull this over. Just so people don't see my logins. I did that live in front of 200 people.
And Russell hasn't let you live it down.
And I know. But, I'm an avid user of RoboForm now. Lessons learned.
You know how Stu feels about RoboForm.
Okay, so here we go. I logged in so we could just take a quick peek. So I don't see anything that's, let's look at the historic. Oh yeah, you can see right there in October. You see that big jump. So let's just see what the monthly looks like. You should see just a massive spike. Yeah, so he got hit in October for like, holy cow, 80,000 links. That
must have been a really good article.
That's absolutely insane. Very interesting. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty bad. So you're definitely negative SEO unless you did this to just get it ranked. I mean, I've seen that too, but
we don't judge.
Yeah, I'm not here judging here or there. I'm just helping out. So
it happens. Yeah. You just opened your GSA, unwrapped it, got it out of the box, and you needed something to do. Pointed it at something.
I have never done anything like that.
Not at your money side. I don't think Orlando did that. No, he didn't do that. He's not that crazy. Is that your business site, Orlando? Or is that a client site? Okay. Yours? Okay, gotcha. Yeah, you definitely wouldn't have done that.
Just going to click on bulk actions. And we're going to disavow. So we disavow to the domain level. I don't care about rating links. I don't care about whatever. So just hit apply. Yes, we're going to do that till 353. And you always want to disavow to the domain level. Never disavow to a page or URL level or a subdomain. Like it's not going to do anything for you, especially if they're from bad neighborhoods. And you don't know what tags or anything else are on there that maybe some of the link tools didn't pick up that it's actually out there. So you just do it. So there was 750 there. So now we just need to get our disavow file. So we need to get two files out of this. We do CSV. So basically what I want is we need to grab all of these links. So that's why I download the CSV that you see here. And then I also want to grab the disavow file. Yes, I understand. And close that, and we need to save that file. Save. Okay. So
just want to point out here, Jimmy, hang on a second, because we're getting a lot of good questions, like which I predicted, which is what tools are you using. We could give all that, but just know that we cover this hours and hours and hours in the traffic hospital stuff we do. Like there's a lot of different things. This happens to be link research tools, but we're not here to say these tools or tell you to even do this. It's just we've had a lot of questions about how this works. So you guys are getting, this is a really, this was not in the script, guys. We weren't going to do this on a webinar. So this is extra. I'll just give you an idea of the things that we do.
So, and, the thing is somebody asked, like, how much you get charged to do this for clients. Like, I've been paid like $50,000 to recover a site in the past.
Guys, that's 50,000.000.
And it literally took, like half hour, an hour worth of work. So it's not always foolproof. You know, you'll run into a site here or there that just won't recover or has to actually wait. But that's advanced stuff that if you want to learn more about that, you can go check out that course that you were mentioning earlier.
Yeah, we cover all this in different things, but you guys get the general idea. This is a huge part of the arsenal, and there's a lot of details, so don't be going out there and saying, hey, in Director's Code I learned, you know, I mean, there's a lot more to how Jimmy and his students get paid and how they charge, and there's, again, this was an unplanned, you know, reveal here.
So we're just waiting on this last one. It's at 99%, so basically I've collected the links that I need for the first crawl, but to absolutely get rid of all the garbage, we got to make sure that we're getting the ones that Google has in their database as well. So with negative SEO attacks, I just try to grab as many of the links that I can, because the more you can get, the better off you're going to be once you roll through the disavow. And this works usually anytime you see like huge amounts of links coming into a site. Like, you can do this and it basically will just start helping your rankings as opposed to hurting it, especially if you catch it before it drops. And then they'll be sitting there being like, why isn't the site going down? It's because your SEO sucks.
Tell us what you really think, man. This is Jimmy Unplugged and Uncensored. Actually, he's a little bit censored still.
So we're just waiting.
Oh, DJ? Okay, I'm looking. Let's see, I played Light It Up. What other songs, Jimmy songs are there? Jimmy, why don't you sing for us, man? You've earned it.
Just trying to wait on some of this. You should play one of my tracks. You have one of mine that I did from back in the college days?
No, you play it. I don't have that set here.
Oh, I don't even know if I have it copied to this computer.
Oh, that's a new machine?
Out of the closet.
Oh, you haven't migrated everything onto your new Alienware?
Not yet, only because of the massive virus that owned me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay, just bear with us, guys. We're just waiting on this 1% of a report here. Would there be any benefits to just using all the links instead of filtering them out? Well, so I don't like to filter everything out just because, so this is my opinion. I can't prove this because we don't have access to Google's back end, obviously.
Right. Yeah.
But my opinion is when you submit links for the disavow, I believe it changes them to no follow, so they don't actually, they can't penalize or hurt your site.
Mm-hmm.
So now, why do I think this? Well, if it was a simple matter of removing the links, so we've done plenty of disavows where sites have bounced back. I mean, you can see, and this is like on a daily basis in our Skype group. Like, we get testimonials every day. Where the heck is my site? I'll go show you. So when you're looking at this, if you just click on, I mean, we literally get testimonials on this every day. I'm not exaggerating either. I mean, this is...
Let's just put it this way. We had to put a wiki archive. We had to create an archive repository. I've never had to hire like part-time help just to help me organize the testimonials. I've never seen anything like that. So at a certain point, it was just crazy.
See this one, I had a negative SEO attack with about 60,000 hidden links with same anchor domain dropped in SERPs.
Yeah.
Disavowed the bad links, pinged, recovered after 3 to 4 days. Old positions are back. It's now the 10th domain that I've recovered from a penguin and or panda penalty. So easy with the information from this course. Love it. Thanks, Network Empire.
Yeah.
And these are just a few. I would say Russ probably has hundreds that I've sent him.
Yeah, they're in the repository until I can get to them. I'm adding them. I figure if I had a couple every day. Yeah, so it really works. And again, you guys, this is stuff that I really truly believe with discipline that anybody can learn the basic steps. I mean, if I can learn it, then you guys can learn it.
Yeah, I mean, you guys go through this a couple of times and you'll get it down. Like I'm not doing anything fancy. It's just from doing a ton of sites to really get down the thing. So now we're going to do the same thing on this. So this one is coming out of our Webmaster Tools list. Okay, and we're just going to come through here and we're just going to do the same process. So I'm going to click on my detox tools.
Here's another thing. You guys are the best geeks. Seriously, I've been a geek since the 80s. This is the best I've ever found. I agree. I mean, I can't include myself necessarily in that, but in terms of this stuff, Jazz, this is by far the best SEO stuff with Jimmy and Sue that I've ever seen in my 10-year career in SEO. It's the combination not just of SEO, the traffic hospital panel is recovery and prevention. It's also the prevention aspect combined with the SEO knowledge. It really is. With OMG and the director's cut combination, and we're just trying to give you an overview of all the tools that you have so that you can pick what you need from your palette.
And the biggest thing I think that people get a benefit from is just when you understand what triggers the penalties and stuff, like when you go to set up a site, you know exactly what not to do. So it's not like, oh man, I didn't know about the page layout algorithm. So now you have to go back and redesign your site or something. You know when you're setting it up that, oh, you know what, exactly. We need to adjust this before you even go and start building links. So it can save you a lot of headache and heartache from all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So then we're going to do Suspicious 7 and Suspicious 12.
What is that, Suspicious 12?
Possible link network.
Oh, okay.
Coming from the same analytics code.
Oh, that's a UA code. I know. I fixed that.
They have 22 that are coming from the same
yeah.
Class C IP. This one's not as bad, but this wasn't the overall like what we did, and we'll probably have some duplicate repeat stuff going on, but that's okay.
Right. Gotcha.
We're going to go back through and filter that before we upload it, and then we'll pass it to Orlando to upload. Okay, so I'm just gonna go down again and do what we did on the last list. So we just come down here, and you just open this sucker up, show all columns, and come over here. You go to your rules, Tox 1, Tox 3, and you're going to come down, you do Suspicious 7. We're going to do 12.
Jazz, you realize that as we go along, I can read less and less of your comments out loud.
We're going to do 9. And we're going to put a happy little 20 here. Maybe that little bush needs a friend. 22, 23. Come on. Stop hiding. 23. Let me see. Did we get them all? Let's see.
I don't know who this guy is, but could we have Jimmy back?
No. What, you don't want... What?
You guys are getting free access to the most valuable information we've ever released to the public. Good job. Sometimes you just got to roll with it, guys. Let's see what the comments are here. It's a shame that people would stoop to doing this kind of negative... Okay. Yeah, because they can't hang. Actually, David, it's happening all over the place. It's not against the law yet. Probably will be. Kevin, who works here, who's part of our team, is saying that in the UK they consider negative SEO to be a violation of the computer vandalism laws in the UK. probably in the next couple of years we'll see this becoming, not that you couldn't sue for it now, but it's probably going to be pretty standard to be illegal to be able to negatively. It's like driving by someone's business with a machine gun, right? I mean, if you really look at that, it'll be interesting to see where it goes in terms of law, international, and I don't think it'll ever stop. I think you still need to know all this stuff, but it is kind of interesting in the real world how this will be looked on in terms of vandalism.
So and then you can do, so we're going to download the CSV again. Just save that file, and we're going to grab the other disavow. Yes, I understand and agree. Okay. So now we just got to merge these things together. So the first one I'm going to do is we're going to put the file together for Orlando to submit to Webmaster Tools. So when we come into here, we're just going to open this sucker up. Hello, computer. Where are you going? It's going off to some far screen, one of my 7 screens. I can't even see it. Let's see, where are you going? Well, alrighty then. There we go, okay. Alright, so this was the first one that we did. Come on, cooperate here. Okay, this was the first one that we did. And you see that there's just disavow stuff in here. So we're just going to hit enter, and we're going to go grab the other disavow file that we did, because remember we did 2 of them. And this was D144. So we need D305. So we're going to copy these. And I'm just going to paste them right in here. Bam. There it is. And I'll just hug it up so it's nice and tight.
Awesome.
Although it doesn't really matter with the spaces, like Google will read it anyway. So you don't have to necessarily worry about cleaning this up. If this would just go a little faster here. So we're just going to backspace. That should fix the gap. Okay, so now we have our disavow file. So this is what I'm going to give to Orlando. And I'm just going to do a spot check here. So you can see it. So the one thing you have to look for is you're looking for subdomains that are bogus. Because remember, we want the root. So right here, this is a disavow for one specific one. But you know, they could just copy that subdomain and do it over and over again if they wanted to. So we just want to do this. You want to pull that all the way back to the root. And same with, well, that one's fine. I'm just going to scan this real quick. You might want to double check this again, Orlando, before, but you can disavow this for purposes of what we're doing. But just to make sure, you can see like this one, a-dub-dub-dub, just delete that out. Like there's a, you know, this is all junk. So just pull all this stuff out. I'll try to do a good job with. So you see as blog.hibernate, we just want hibernate.org. Like we want that. You want to disavow the root, not the subdomain. It looks like there's a lot of them. So you're going to pull this one out. My word, what is this? That's just insane. Look at that one. There you go. So, do you see what I'm doing on here, Orlando? By gutting out, make sure that you do this, and you might have to just do a recrawl on this, okay? So, see, here's another one. Not that one has a dash in it. You have this one. See, look at this. There's a .com. So this is what we actually need to disavow, but there's all these freaking subfolders in front of it, so we just got to delete that out and go straight to the root. So you might have to scan this because I don't have time to go through each of these on the Webby, but we'll just go with this for now. So this might not respond as quick until you get all of these down to their root. So I'm just going to save this. And we're going to put it on here. Total list. I'm going to close that. Okay, I'm going to give you that file, Orlando. So you were definitely negative SEO'd. Oh, I guess I don't need to show my Skype. Let's see where to go. Okay, so I sent that file to you, Orlando. So I'm going to log in to a site here so you can see where to put that in. And I can never really find it, you know, I just kind of hodgepodge it most of the time. So since I can't ever find the tool, what I usually do is I'll just go over and just do a search for Google disavow tool. I used to know like how to get to it, but you know. So you'll select your site from the list and you'll hit disavow. Are you seeing what I'm doing here, Orlando? Where what do we got? Somebody read the question box to me. Does Orlando see what I'm doing? Because I can't find my questions.
Yes, he sees
They've disappeared.
Good.
Okay. All right, so come into here, you're going to hit disavow, and you say, this is advanced feature, might hurt your site, whatever. Come down here and hit choose file. You're going to go choose and go select that file that I sent to you, and you're going to hit, once you select it, this will light up and you hit submit. And once you do that, tell me and we'll go to the next step.
He asked, do I add it to a previous file I disavowed? Yes, Orlando, you should.
Yeah, so you want to download your previous file, although that's like a complete list, so if you just want to replace the list that's in there, then that would be fine too.
So Paul asks, aren't there times when you wouldn't want to go down this route? For instance, if it's WordPress.com, wouldn't you want to disavow the subs and not the whole domain?
Yeah, you would have that situation, but I mean, you know, under a negative SEO attack, you never know really what tactics they used, and so this is very aggressive for trying to disavow links because, I mean, I just don't know, who knows what they did, right? So you just want to make sure that you're.
And we're just going to light them all up. Just blow them all away.
Yeah. I mean, because what is it? It's not going to hurt your site any more than what's already happened in most cases.
Shoot them all, start over.
Okay. So let's see. Did you get that disavowed, Orlando?
He says he's going to clean it up first, Jimmy, as you suggested.
And you are golden, Orlando. How did you score tonight? Dang.
So the next step that I would do, just to walk people through that are watching, is once he's disavowed it, I'm just going to give him these lists that I pulled.
So what will you charge for that if we were not in this intimate group, Jimmy?
Just depends on
the situation.
Yeah, I mean, that's hard to say.
We'll leave that off here.
Just doing this, I mean, you can make some good cash from just doing this process alone for people.
I mean, I know some of your students for that process are making several grand for that 45 minutes to an hour and a half work.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they're doing like probably just for this process alone, they're doing like 1,000 to 1,500. But
yeah, that's about right.
I mean, they got to consider that you're paying for a tool,
yeah.
paying for the time and what you know how to do with it,
yeah.
your expertise, right? So all that comes into play when you're charging a client for helping them with their stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put this back over to you. So now that we've gotten that done, I'm just going to go into a tool and usually use indexification, but really any tool you can use to get them re-indexed is like fine. So we're going to do login. So, and I would say indexification has probably been the best tool to use, but just for this instance, we need to get, once he disavows, we need to go get him recrawled. So that's basically all that their boost tool does, so you don't really need to pay extra money for it. So, let me see, where does it go? So we're going to go grab a list, if I can find it. I need the disavow list. Where did it go? So now this list, the CSVs that we downloaded, you'll get it in this type of format, right? So now you can't just go and submit your domain because the domain might not house exactly what's on the, it's not going to house exactly what's on there. You could also, you could do a word combine here. I don't know, you could put that disavow list together a little more efficiently too than having to go through and delete out the subdomains. But anyways, so you're going to do from URL, you have to grab the exact URL that the links are housed from. And this is specifically true with anything that Google's actually seen. You're just going to grab all of column B and you're going to copy this. And I just want to go put that in the indexer. Now this is after you've submitted the disavow tool to Google. So you just hit paste and then I'd hit submit. I'm not going to do that right now because he's still got to go through and get rid of all those garbage subdomains. But that's essentially what you do, and then you're good to go usually. And then you get those testimonials like what you see that like 3 to 4 days it bounced back and rankings are back and everybody's happy.
Now, it can take up to 20 days for that to bounce back, can it?
If they're dealing with a Panda, then the process would be different. But because this is usually pure link spam, it can be a lot quicker. Usually within about a week's time is what I give it for Penguin.
And why did you do
Unless they went out and got some serious bad neighborhood links, then that can be a different story.
Okay.
But that is very rare that a competitor that wants negative SEO would go to that length. Like, they would seriously have to hate you.
Right. So why
In which case, you probably know the person that did
it. Dang.
Why do you need to get the links recrawled?
So once you submit the disavow to Google, basically Google's going to take that and say, oh, okay, they don't want to count any links from these sites, so they change them to no follow. Right, so in their system, they're no follow, even though when you see them on the web, they do follow. And then you get them recrawled because Google can't reassess the penalty until their bots come through and see that they go back to that URL and see that it's been disavowed. So typically why people in the past didn't think that the tool would work is because they would just submit a disavow and just be like, okay, well, whatever. It didn't work.
Right.
And then they wait around and the update doesn't come. The next Penguin update comes and goes and their site didn't recover and like, but I used the disavow, so it must not work. So basically what's happening is, you know, when people use the spam links, they went and forced it to get crawled by Google, where normally Google might not have ever even have crawled or indexed that link in the first place. So to be able to reassess it and say that, hey, marry this up with what I disavowed in the Google disavow tool, it has to go get recrawled, so the indexing server that they have can basically know, oh, they can recalculate that link again, if that makes sense.
Yep, totally. Thank you.
I can't believe we showed them the whole thing.
And that's all I have to say about that.
Alrighty, we'll chat after the call. No, seriously, that's good. You know, we're just going with it. And the thing is that for those of you who know that this type of thing to do, you know, for a living or to do as part of your organization is right for you, but it's just good to have it on your radar, like just so you know what's possible. And yeah, thanks a lot, you guys. We have been on this call almost 3 hours, so we need to actually, so we need to wrap this up. I'm going to go ahead and grab the replay and get it over to David, and I'm going to talk to Sue first. I just don't know how much of this we're actually. You think we're going to publish this entire replay, Sue, or?
I think we should just cut it right before the.
Yeah.
Let's do a dub, so anyone that was actually on this actually gets this information.
Yeah, because part of what's happening is you are. This is very, very, very unusual. I can't tell you how much money is made when we do this, and how much our students and clients make, and that's part of being part of the OMG Director's Cut family. So we'll talk it through. I won't make a decision now until Sue can tell me exactly how she wants to go forward with it. But I really enjoy working with you. There's a huge number of people still on this call. An amazing 90% of the people who were here to begin with are still here. So I'm glad you've been exposed to this material. I really am starting to get to know some of you by the things that you do, your websites, the way that you communicate with us, and I'm very, very impressed by the immense amount of discipline that you guys have. So, Tom, I can't read yours either. So, Sue, do you have any final words for the community today? Next week, same time, actually different time, right? We're going to be in the afternoon.
Same place, yep.
Okay.
And should we tell them? I mean, if we're going to cut the video out, I mean, we could just tell them.
I think we're going to have to leave it in,
to
tell you the truth, because we had guys that were here and they had to cut out. So.
Yeah, and they would be really.
Yeah, I know that David's usually wants to make sure that everybody in the group gets access.
Yeah. So we're all.
So yeah,
we had audio problems.
You're breaking up, Captain. Yeah, no, okay, so, all right, so we'll probably end up, well, Cotton shared his secret off his screen one day, so that will be fine.
Yeah, see, there you go. You just say, well, Cotton's doing it, so we can do it, so there you go.
Okay.
Shall we compare secrets?
All right.
My secret's bigger than Cotton's secret. Okay. Right, Jimmy? All right. Okay, so we're kidding.
Hey.
No, we're not.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much. You guys are awesome, and we will see you Tuesday. The next Tuesday is going to be in the afternoon, and again, replay takes about 24 hours. I'll get this straight away to the team. I want to thank my team. It's an honor and a privilege to be working with geeks of this quality, like seriously hardcore technologists, software developers, military level engineers. So excited to work with this team. We have so much more coming from you, for you, that we talked about over the last 4 or 5 days. We will see you on the inside of OMG Director's Cut. Thank you.